Hello and welcome. As this is our little pre-show here, we got about 30 minutes until House of the Dragon comes on. We're going to be doing a sort of hangout and then a live watch party. Now, obviously, we cannot show the thing. I know we used to do this for Wheel of Time, and people would come in and like, SMH, can't believe you guys aren't showing that. It's like, you can't show the episode.
Yeah, there are people out there doing it, and their channel is going to get taken down soon. So
yeah. So exactly, but no. So we're all gonna watch live. What we'll do is, as it gets close, we'll all start, and we'll just kind of say, "Hey, here we go," like a 3, 2, 1, boom, and get her going. But we got about half an hour. Been seeing a lot of the early reviews. Try to show the episode Cowards. Yeah, and our good buddy Jimmy from the Fantasy Nuttwork, he'll be joining us too. He's not going to join us for while we do the watch along, but he's going to join us immediately following that. So yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to definitely get it all going here shortly, and then do a cool little hangout and just see how it goes, man. I'm excited.
Yeah. Do we think the other episodes will leak? I don't know how much has leaked out there in terms of.
So episode 1, apparently, I guess in some regions, maybe people have already watched it. There's definitely been some stuff leaked. I won't spoil anything, but we've talked a little bit about some of it. One of the things I'm kind of concerned about, but it's really more of an episode 2 thing, is the intro. We've been talking about, are we going to get like another full intro?
Yeah.
But a lot of shows, their first episode, you don't get like remember Wheel of Time didn't have that.
Yeah, no, they didn't do it until the second.
It was just a title. It was just a title card.
Right.
Which I think is probably what the case is here.
Yeah, I think so too. I hope so. Anyways, that we get sort of we're easing into this. We slide right on in. We're kind of like
HBO's they take like their intro title themes pretty seriously. I'm watching The Sopranos for the first time right now, and its intro title scene, it's freaking sweet.
Yeah. There we go, dude. We got some people. Let's go. We got some familiar faces in here. Everything. Yeah, this is good.
Crank that AC back up.
Crank the AZ, baby. Let's go. We will get an intro. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get one. I don't know if we're getting one episode 1, but definitely getting one episode 2. Man, I even wore them. Well, I busted out. I've only worn them like once ever. My Game of Thrones. I have Game of Thrones Targaryen socks.
Let's go. Wow, got the dragon socks on. Doing the dragon.
I mean, I'd show them, but then this isn't Feet Finder, so.
Hey, who knows?
Apparently, you can make some money doing that.
Well, I mean, I've always said,
Bender. No, I am not a married man yet. I'm getting married. 2 weeks from today.
Can we petition the show to start it at a different time? Like,
I might get some gabagool for next week.
Oh yeah. Wait a second. So we're gonna get the first 2 episodes, then you're what? Yeah. Okay. So it's episode 3.
Yeah. So episode 3, Ez and Jimmy will be in Portland, or as I'm getting married, and the episode goes live like 2 hours afterwards. So during the like our big ceremony reception, we might just have to sneak out.
Oh, we're going to, man. Like 100%. We're gonna be smuggling some drinks out there on the phone.
It's like first, I'm committed to the first dance and the second one, which I hate dancing in the first place. It's just not my thing. The only dancing I like is of dragons. Okay, so I got another dance to get to. It's called the Dance of Freaking Dragons. Okay?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So yeah, I don't know that we can do a full live stream that night. We will definitely have an episode up the next day. I just bought a travel mic. Let me grab it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Matt's ready. He's ready for this.
Because when I went to Mexico earlier in the year, and we still recorded. I don't know, did we record Bend the Knee, or we definitely recorded Hyperspace? But I don't know. I just bought this thing. Yeah. Just so, because it's like we love all of our projects. Don't get me wrong. All of the podcasts that Ez and I do, but
we have our favorite child. It's okay.
Bend the Knee is like the main thing. So
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like, yes, I would, because when we recorded some stuff for, well, it was actually Book of Boba Fett, but it was really Mandalorian.
Right.
I was like, the audio quality was okay. I was like, I can't have that for House of the Dragon.
Right. Cannot be. No, we can't be slacking. Can't be slacking on it.
No.
Yeah, this is gonna be exciting though. I think it's gonna be fun. We'll have because let me think, man. I mean, the episode will be airing. We might be
It
a little
airs at
tipsy.
6 o'clock. Oh,
Matt, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I bring my Wi-Fi, like my mobile hotspot, we could probably stream from a phone. Go live.
Well, I can forward. I
Cool.
can forward you it there.
Okay, we got enough 4G. Okay, enough power in the 4G.
You, Jim, and I would definitely do a short little.
Yeah,
we're gonna, I'm gonna have it kind of on while we're on the dance floor, maybe.
Yeah. We'll give you updates.
Listening, and then when the episode's over, we'll definitely pop up, because you can just hit like go live from your phone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
And just do a quick little right. I mean, Game of Thrones and Game of Thrones and weddings go great together. So
yeah, this could be a catastrophe. In the background, you just hear people screaming for their lives, and we're like, "Wow, Matt's wedding is like falling apart here," but it's all right.
Is Bend the Knee a reference to the free folk kneelers thing? No, it's just they say they just say bend the knee, man.
Bend the knee. I mean,
I do like for the free folk Reddit though. I like all the, to be honest, I kind of like all the Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire Reddits.
Yeah.
I would not have any pie if I were there. No, I think we're doing cupcakes.
Are you doing cupcakes?
We kind of want to, because the whole deal is we want people to come in, hang out, and then you're good to go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Jenny of Old Stones does not exist at this point in time in during Dance Dragons. No, she does not. But I still say,
yeah,
I would not be surprised. It's probably a season 2 thing once the dance kicks off. I'm telling you, it's a civil war between Targaryens. I would have a faceless man assassin, and I would totally have it be I forget the actor's name, but he's obviously he played Jack in Hagar. He was in Stranger Things. He was in like Jack Ryan. He's been in a bunch of stuff. But because in theory, the faceless man exists, and you could just wear any face. I don't know how long those face last or what the deal is, but if you did that, people would be like, "What?" And people, it'd blow the internet up. Thank you, by the way.
Oh, absolutely it would. Yeah, I hope we're seeing something like that. I mean, a lot of the early reviews that we've seen, people who've gone and actually seen it have come out, and I mean, they're freaking out, and they're like not just like, oh yeah, it was really solid, really good. No, I mean, like emotionally, this is carrying a lot of weight, and it's apparently really, really good. First episode.
Yeah, great question here by Benjamin Garrett. Will this be an anthology show, different areas of Targaryens? Two of the comparisons I've heard this. Grace Randolph, her channel's Beyond the Trailer. She's like, it's early screening stuff. She kind of described this as, she said that season 1 felt, because they get early screeners, so like some of those bigger people have seen like 6 episodes of the show so far, and I've seen a lot of people actually say they felt like they've compared it to Succession and The Crown. And now I haven't seen Succession, but I know that it's Sir Jimmy's seen it a lot, and he says it's like amazing. Any HBO show, I'm watching The Sopranos for the first time right now, but I've seen Deadwood and some other ones, and HBO is like the king of great content. But The Crown is sort of an anthology. It jumps, it jumps like decades and things like that. Apparently this show, and we kind of know it is going to jump some timelines. It is going to jump, like we're going to see young Rhaenyra, and then we're going to see older Rhaenyra. But in theory, you could do a season 3 and 4 that are, seasons 1 and 2 in theory, let's just say, could be Dance of the Dragons, and then seasons 3 and 4 could be Blackfire Rebellion stuff. You could make it an anthology show if you wanted. Yeah,
for sure. I love the way they've titled it House of the Dragon, and do what you want with it, for sure. Have these different sort of eras, the Dance of Dragons. If you like, you go back with Aegon's Conquest, move forward, Blackfire Rebellion, whatever you want to do with it. I think it's just kind of depends on how successful it is and what good stories you can tell. So,
yeah. It was one of the things I thought like the show Gotham could do, because I remember watching it, and thinking like, well, you titled it Gotham. So in theory, because it's all about like Batman when he's young, he's, Bruce Wayne's a kid. Well, it's really actually more about Commissioner Gordon. But Bruce Wayne is there and he's a kid. And then at the end, he ends up showing up like the last episode. It ends up showing up as Batman. His costume is cringe as all get out. It's really funny. Like season 1 of that show is great. And then just went downhill. But in theory, you titled it Gotham. So you could have turned it or whatever, or you could bring it back. Same thing with this is you could bring this back and you could do that. But I think my guess is what this show is ultimately going to be is like 5 seasons, Dance with the Dragons, and then you move on to another show.
Yeah, for sure. I would love for them to just kind of keep moving forward chronologically because it seems like they're going to incorporate a lot of stuff that's, referencing Aegon or even Old King Jaehaerys or something like that. So we're going to get enough, there to where this is like a really interesting point to kind of hit and then drive forward with all the, Dorne, if they want to do a Dorne arc, who knows, if they want to do something there or if they want to move forward with Blackfire stuff or whatever. I mean, I think there's a lot of potential just moving forward after they get through this.
As real quick, are you going to get a timer up?
I can. Absolutely. Let me see if I got one here. Yeah.
We did that. We did that for Wheel of Time. Yeah. First episode is how long? 102 minutes. Dang.
Is it really? Wow.
Wait, 102 minutes? Because that's like, or it's an hour and 2 minutes. Because if it's 102 minutes, then that's like almost 2 hours.
Yeah, we got to get this right here, folks.
those are two different things.
Yeah, somebody gives the proper rundown here. Oh, here, let me.
House of the Dragon, episode 1 runtime.
Let's see.
How long is around 60? So I think it's an hour and 2 minutes. Gotcha. Okay. Because 102 minutes. Dang, I'm down. You're telling me that's almost 2 hours. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Well, what the Long Night episode was like almost an hour and 20 minutes or something. It was the Battle of Winterfell in season 8.
Right. Yep. All right, I'm just getting a little timer up here. What we're going to do is we'll put this timer up here so you guys sort of know. Once we click play, you can kind of look at we're not going to skip anything. We don't skip any stuff. We just kind of we'll roll right into it. So I got a 2-hour stopwatch just to make sure.
Well, there we go.
Plenty of time there. So let me.
Yep, and we'll all get it, and we'll kind of do a 3, 2, 1, boom, type of a thing. Yeah. So kind of predictions. I don't think we're gonna get a full title card in episode 1. But I don't. If we don't, I wouldn't be disappointed until next week. Now, if next week comes and we don't get like a good, true intro, then it's just gonna be maybe some sort of title card or something. Who Michael Puckett here, man. He's a long time guy. I want to give a shout out to him. Scared. I've got to be up at 4 a.m. for work. Yeah, I know. I just got a new job and I'm doing like a different shift and it's Pacific time out here, but 4:30 to 1 p.m. And so I'm like, man, I'm doing this. Then I got to get up and I got to leave for work at, like 4 a.m. It's going to be next week's going to be a little rough as I transition to that.
Right.
But
it's crazy.
That'll be fine.
Andrew, shout out to him too. Yeah, cool. We got some good folk in here. Let's go.
Yeah, see, a handful of people I will say that have said we might not be getting a thing. Which again, I'm not really. If we don't get it in episode 1, I'm not worried. A lot of shows do not have like a lot of shows in their pilot do not have like the pure intro.
Right. Yeah.
Even stuff, what's even weird is like even stuff on streaming. Even stuff that's streaming, you would think they would go back in and add the intro in, but sometimes they don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Where are we at, man? Man, we got Alabama. Shout out to Alabama.
Yeah, where's everybody at? We got Jeezy cow. We got a crowd in here tonight. Let's go.
Hey,
Trinidad. Holy.
Whoa, man. We're talking worldwide here.
Let's go.
Atlanta.
All right.
You live in Atlanta and you're a San Francisco fan, 49ers fan.
Jersey, I mean, do you live in Alabama and you're an Alabama fan?
Illinois. We got Ireland, Canada. Well, Ez and I are from Ohio, so we're not allowed to say that word, Trey, but
Yeah, I can't say it. Sorry, Trey.
We're not allowed.
Right.
Germany, Illinois, Chicago, Pittsburgh. Let's go. I'm a Steelers
New
fan.
Zealand, baby. All right.
Texas, the Motor City, Detroit.
Let's go.
Miami, Texarkana, Texas. Let's go, man. New
All
Zealand, the Bears. We got Chicago, South Africa. Whoa.
Yeah.
Virginia, Florida, the Philippines. This is crazy.
I love it, man. I love it. It's bringing people together, man. I love this kind of stuff. Straight up. This is solid. Go Browns.
Awesome.
Get out of here.
It's evening Christmas.
Eric,
I'm from Ohio, but I'm a 49ers fan. Let's go, man. Washington, D.C. Let's go. Can't believe I'm staying up at 3 a.m. for this. That is crazy.
Yeah, we had Germany who were like staying up. Yeah,
I know. Our friend Nikki, she was Kay Lisi, who came on the show a couple times. I messaged her because she got to go. She got to go to the premiere in London for Sky, whatever or something like that. So she saw it a little bit earlier. Let me see. I messaged her. Let me pull up my message.
Right.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Let me see. I messaged her and I just said, "How was it?" And she just responded, "Dude." And they gave me like the zipper thing. She's like, "Oh man, I cannot." Like,
wow.
Which if it was bad, she'd be like, "Oh, I don't want to disappoint you." But so clearly she, and then on her TikTok, she loved it. And everything. So yeah.
Oh, it's good. It's good, man. We're hearing good things all around the community. So we've got somebody was asking, we have about 14 minutes left, I think, until they said we can refresh and check it out. And
I am ready.
Yep. I'm just like, I'm like sweating with anticipation. I'm like, this is.
I'm so pumped.
I can't.
It's crazy. I don't know why, but this show, it's like I'm more excited for this show than I've been for anything in a long time.
Well, it's just laid back. I'm not going to be arguing about how they adapted X, Y, and Z really, because it's a skeleton. Right. I mean, it's, there's some stuff, but there's plenty of room to do cool things. Really, our most recent videos have been blowing up in terms of the Aegon the Conqueror passing down secrets about the Night King. Like, let's go. There's some cool stuff going. That's just been leaked. That's just some stuff that's been out there rumored. I don't know if it's true or not, but yeah. And what time Europe can we watch? I don't know. See, here's the thing. I don't know how. Yeah. So see, like Amazon. Oh, and by the way, guys. Next Friday, I think we're going on Jimmy's channel and doing a thing. Well, Ez is flying, so he's gonna be missing out. But I think I'm going on Jimmy's channel possibly and doing Rings of Power. Now we will be covering actually Rings of Power, and we will be doing a live stream like this for it. At least whatever weeks we're not doing it with Jimmy. Ez and I will be doing it on our Wheel of Time channel, Heroes of the Horn. So you can definitely come. So you can definitely come check that out too. But we'll be doing it the same thing. But Amazon releases their stuff like midnight, so it's like Friday, but it's really Thursday. Yeah. It's weird, but because they want it to kind of be an even point for everybody, sort of, or whatever. I think what I heard was for Rings of Power, the first week it's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for us on that Thursday. And so I'm going to be covering it just with Up Talk and Tolkien, my buddy Lane doing something initially. And then I think Matt and I are going to do something on Saturday, but we're also going to do something.
We're going to figure it out.
Yeah, we're going to do something with Jimmy too. So, I mean, we have two massive shows that are just like, it's going to be sick.
I know. And then it's like Andor will be coming out, which we'll be covering on Hyperspace. And then I want to actually squeeze in on our Matt and Ez show where we Ez and I kind of do like Marvel DC stuff. I want to squeeze in, man. We might have to squeeze in a little She-Hulk because I was actually kind of shocked that I thought I would like hate that show just because it's like with Marvel, we're getting to the point to where it's like, it's like the Hulk's cousin. Okay. I mean, come on. If you told me it's like, hey, there's this new Batman movie. Oh, okay. Sick. Like I'm down, but it's Batman's like best friend's uncle. Well, that's not Batman. No. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels like that's where we're at with Marvel right now. But I gotta say, man, She-Hulk, I was actually generally kind of surprised that I actually thought it was episode 1
I'm down to look into it.
Was fun. Yeah. And Miss Marvel I ended up liking a lot more than I sort of thought I could. Our Wheel of Time show is called Heroes of the Horn. Yep. And we actually started these sort of live streams like this for that, and that was a lot of fun. But But I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, House of the Dragons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know a lot of we had Sandy in here, a couple other folks, Jordan. I mean, I know people want to talk about that show too. So I bet on Saturday, because it's going to shift after the first week. That's going to be like on Fridays it'll drop, or it'll be like Thursday at midnight. And I'm not, I'm going to do something on Fridays with Lane, and then Saturdays with Matt. So we're gonna be so busy. We're gonna be so just like swamped with stuff. It's gonna be great. It's great. It's a freaking great problem to have.
The live hangouts are honestly so much fun, just because everyone's watching at the same time. It's just so much sweet. Yeah. So and we had some questions here. I don't know. I'm watching on HBO Max. I think if you have regular HBO, you just go to the channel and it's on. But I don't know about like the other HBO.
What about Canada? Jordan's from Canada. What do they watch it on?
I don't know.
Jordan, get in here and tell us what you're watching this on, man.
I don't know. Some of the things don't have it.
Huh. That's crazy.
See, this is actually going to be one of the things that's good when they do Crave. Yeah, it's like the thing they see when the whole Discovery Channel business, when like a year from now, when they get rid of HBO Max and they probably just come up with like Warner Plus or whatever, Warner Max or something like that.
Right.
Then maybe it's going to go worldwide, because Discovery Plus is in like a lot of things. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Andrew, 9 p.m. Yep. We're looking at
10 minutes Eastern. Out. 10 minutes.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Yeah. Hey, Trey, we love Star Wars as well. It's going.
Yeah, so you must have regular HBO in Canada, but they must not have HBO
Max.
Yeah, I actually watched some of season 8 on Amazon Prime. There was a thing. Remember there was like you could do some sort of thing through it or something like that. I wonder if any more Stark heads will fly. Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but the Starks are very prevalent at the end of whatever the final season of this thing is. Starks are going to be huge deals in that.
Yeah. Look hey, here we go. You know what? It's about time. The aesthetic up in here. Okay?
I made a new banner just for House of the Dragon.
Matt, I think they were talking about those eyes, baby. I think they.
I don't know about that.
Oh man. Nah, cool.
But I did look. I made. We have our other one here. I'll click. See, the other one we use for our main thing. We gotta differentiate. I made this one, but then I made one just for House of the Dragon. I switched it up. You got Aegon the Third, you got the Hightower, you got the Valerian.
Looks like there's a little blood splatter going on there, my friend. A little fire and blood.
Well, yeah, man. Things are gonna get serious here.
Yeah. Oh my God, y'all got me pumped about 90 Day Fiance universe.
Seriously.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? I'm still just saying I would love to watch. I would watch some Game of Thrones.
A version of that.
Yeah, I would watch. I think it'd be hilarious. Give me a Game of Thrones stuff. Make Dunk and Egg like a fake documentary, where they're like traveling down the road and then they cut to the camera and it's like,
yeah.
When Dunk said this, I lost,
Oh yeah. He's out courting different people. Oh,
it'd be so stupid.
Oh, let's see here. Oh, nice. We got people catching up with it. All right, let's see. I don't think.
Drogon is a puppy. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can get this pulled up really quick.
Size comparison.
Yeah, there was actually a really good one.
Yeah, gonna be massive. Freaking massive.
Let me get this. I saw this on Reddit the other day.
Will House Hot Pie be in this episode?
So Drogon, by the way, is like down here.
Okay, third row. Oh, you can't see your
Drogon. Oh, sorry. Here, let me get wait. I don't know if you can see. You can kind of see my pointer there.
Yeah, I see it.
Drogon. That's Drogon. This is Balerion. We're talking massive difference in size.
Oh my gosh, they're massive, old boy. Holy.
Yeah, so Balerion is probably like, I don't know. I don't know, but the dragons in this are huge.
wrecking. Oh, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, so Drogon, Rhaegal, and Viserion, which are Dany's dragons, are the bottom 3 outside of this. The last dragon, which I think the last dragon was like the last one born. Remember, because they talked about how they got smaller and smaller.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it was the last one born before Dany's.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, which ones are we seeing here? We're seeing Sheep Stealer, we're seeing Vagar, Silverwing, Cyrax. Yeah. Sunfire, isn't Sea Smoke.
Oof.
Yeah. It's gonna be
some good ones.
Sick.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild.
Yeah, there were some pictures going around, and I think we showed it in one of our things where it let me see. I'll see if I can get that pulled up, but it because Balerion obviously isn't in this, but it shows, like Drogon's face, right? Drogon's face. There's that picture of Drogon when Jon Snow's petting him, and his face takes up about Jon Snow, like half of Jon Snow's, Carrington, whatever, thing, right? His like torso, which is still he's a huge freaking thing.
Hold on, people when people start saying, "Hey, it's live," I have to go like search it real quick here.
Oh, let's do a quick check here.
Quick little search-a-rooski here.
It might be.
Yeah, it might be. Hold on now. Don't worry, we'll get everybody situated here first before we. I don't see it, dude.
Oh yeah, it might. Is it live?
I think it is, dude.
All right,
it is. Okay. All right, hold on. Let me click on it. Let's get her situated here. Season 1, episode 1. Oh my Lord. So now remember,
we're not skipping anything or doing anything.
Skipping the ad or anything like that. So if you guys want to kind of follow along, if you want to pop back in, we're going to watch it, right? It's going to be about an hour or so, and then we're going to come back in here. But we'll be following our timer. Hold on.
Get
that back here.
Get the timer up. See, now, how are you going to hit play on both at the same time, Ez?
I am a magician, okay? I am a well-known sorcerer throughout.
Yeah, we will do a countdown. We will let's do a countdown so we can all try to. Are you going to wait until the full hour? I mean, we could. It's only 4 minutes. That's not going to be.
Wait until the full hour.
Because some people are saying they don't think it's up for everyone. That's fine.
That's fine.
I'm fine. I'm fine with waiting. It's only 3 minutes.
Yeah,
let's wait. We'll wait 3 minutes.
9 o'clock, we're gonna hit play here, and then we'll all be kind of on the
and we'll do a 10-minute thing.
Right, because some people's HBO Max is kind of catching up and stuff like that. So
yeah, let me check the HBO app.
Jordan's like nothing on Crave right now.
Everyone's like, guys, we all.
Oh man.
Let me see. Let me get the HBO Max app. Now watch it crash everything else.
Oh god. Yeah, this is exciting. This is cool. So we have it up. We are just waiting a couple minutes, 2 minutes and counting here.
So it is up on the HBO app currently. At least I just did it. So so we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait the 3 minutes here, and then we'll press play with everyone, and we'll get her going.
We get her going here. Okay. Oh boy.
Now some of you guys are in here spoiled. I mean, if people were like, "Oh my god, this is,"
come
on now.
I'll be semi looking at the chat just a little bit because I like to see people getting hyped about it, and then we'll watch it and get that raw reaction. All right, one more minute here. We'll get her right at 9 o'clock. Right at 9 o'clock, we're gonna press that play button. Been waiting for this. Just waiting. Yeah.
Wait, shout out to Michelle Ramsden, man. Just signed up on Patreon. Let's go.
Hey, shout out Michelle. Let's go.
Yeah, and we will be doing as I just got to do a little bit of planning this week, but we will be doing a Raven's Nest here shortly, where that's where we bring you guys on, as well as getting the Discord server back up and going.
Right.
Because Discord's actually one of the easier ways to do that. That's just audio recording, but we also do the Zoom hangouts and everything. So yeah, so we're going to be pressing play in about 30 seconds. We'll do a countdown, and then we will get it. We will get it going. Because at 9 o'clock on the dot,
20 seconds here.
Yep, we'll do a countdown, and then we'll
15 seconds. Here we go. 10 seconds.
We got almost 300 people in here.
I know, baby. I know. 5. Give me a countdown, Matt.
Give you a countdown.
Here,
Hold on.
yeah.
Let me get my play button up here.
Oh, holy
right.
smoke. Okay.
All right. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Boom.
All right. Let's do it.
All right.
And we're not skipping the ads or anything, so we all stay at the same time.
I'm watching the ad. Yep, all the way through here.
I do love my new monitor setup. I got, you were over here when I did it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I actually almost did watch it. I said, yeah, I'm watching it on my computer. I did actually almost watch it on my tablet because my tablet actually I have a really nice screen on it.
Oh, yeah.
Theoretically, I think I should have actually watched it on my Mac, actually. Would have been the way to do it. But then it's like, because it has that Retina display.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah, they're taking us through all their shows here. A little ad.
I'm excited for all of it.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
We're freaking live. This is sick.
Here we go, baby.
I love the
HBO thing. Yeah.
Sick. We are not showing it. We can't show it. We're just doing a live watch along party.
Right.
Wow. This is the Great Council.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Lady Sandy, I think you're a little ahead of us. Okay.
Yeah.
It should be streaming now. Yes.
Mm.
It's just so good to be back.
Yeah.
I don't know that he wanted it.
Wow. You hear the God. Oh, God.
I'm glad we got the king. We knew we were getting it, but I'm glad we got it.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that it's kind of narrated. Let's go. Yeah, 172 years before the birth of the Mad King.
Wow.
Yeah, we cannot show the actual show. It is a watch party. We're just hanging out with people. It is streaming currently, yes. That's the exact same theme that they used for the Targaryens in Game of Thrones. Note for note.
Wow.
Let's go.
Uh,
Yeah. The music is so good.
dude, I think some
Oh,
people are having crashing issues.
yeah, I know.
Oh
Well,
God.
I'm seeing it.
We are now in the dragon pit. Oh God.
Cyrax.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Dude, it just feels exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it feels like we haven't missed a beat.
I
You know
know.
what I mean?
I know.
Like King's Landing, man.
Yeah. Chills.
Oh yeah. Love seeing all the dragons around King's Landing.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the stuff we've seen pictures of and stuff.
Right.
Like a lot of the pre-production, a lot of the pre-marketing is probably going to be a lot of episode 1. So
Right.
look at those Targaryen banners flying. Love to see it.
Oh God.
Yeah, the timer is so you can match your stream to ours.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to the music, man.
Music's
Music
so
is,
good.
I mean, Robin Duvaldi is a freaking star. I mean, because he did all the music for Game of Thrones. Dude, Emma Aaron.
Oh, dude.
Get Allison out of there. This young Rhaenyra is crushing it.
Yeah. Yeah, she is. That's
so good. Dude, Patty Considine's so good. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Mhm. Yeah, Corliss looks awesome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Corliss knows what's up.
He does.
Get Otto Hightower.
Hightower, shut up, dude.
The cinematography is just so good. The show is beautiful. Yeah, you might be able to find somebody streaming it on YouTube. I don't know for how long, but oh,
Wow.
you saw. God, this dude, so in.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh my God. Matt. He should not.
The Matt Smith Emmy, award ceremony tournament begins. Ooh. Man, I hope all those people who are having trouble with the apps can get it going.
Mm-hmm.
This is a weirwood tree. Ooh. Look at that weirwood tree.
Wow. Oh boy.
Twitter is like loving it, overwhelmingly in love with it.
Whoa.
Oof. Oh, it's not good.
Wow.
Dude, poor Emma Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not grayscale.
Wow.
Wow. Did he 7 Dragon Dreams? Hmm.
Hmm.
Dude, poor Emma Aaron.
Yeah. Hmm. Oh boy.
Let's go. Dude,
Yeah.
so good. Daemon Targaryen is a mix between Ramsay Snow and Jaime Lannister. That is a great comparison.
Hmm.
Oh, so many people saying they're having issues.
I know, that sucks.
I know. Okay, now are we just beating people?
Strike and fear. Strike and fear.
Oh. Oh. Well then.
Whoa, man.
Here's the Game of Thrones. Here's the Game of Thrones we remember. Not the nudity we were hoping for.
Not the nudity we were hoping. Oh.
Yeah, it is Game of Thrones after all. Oh, dude.
Wow.
Oh. Dude. The political banter is back.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Wow. Wow.
Dude, this to me feels like, this is episode 1 of this. It already feels like season 2 or 3, not season 4, obviously, just yet. But it feels like we're in season 2 or 3 of Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That was intense.
Yeah, Viserys is definitely a little more, timid of a ruler. Well, there's the nudity we thought we'd get. Wow. No holding back. They said it will move fast in season 1. HBO Max not playing it yet. I'm watching on HBO Max right now. Rhaenyra is always late.
Yeah, where was she at?
Is that the dagger he's carrying around? The cat's paw dagger?
Might be. I didn't see it.
Yeah. Get that Foss away at, you know.
Wow.
Or he's not a Foss away. What was he? He had the
Charlie.
arch? Yeah, Charlie.
Oh.
Let's go.
Okay.
How's Baratheon, baby? Now remember, if we hit 400 patrons, Ez and I have to joust. So
yeah, we have to joust. Yeah.
yeah, that guy's in The Witcher. I forget his name. Graham McTavish.
Yeah,
he's good. Yeah, Sir Kristen Cole's about to tear it up. Now, where's Mushroom?
Yeah, where's he at?
Dude, look at that armor. I know we saw some of it in the previews, but oh, it's so sick. Yeah, that is the cat's paw dagger Viserys has. Ooh,
Let's go.
he's picking a high
Hightower.
tower. Gawain Hightower.
Wow. It's tense.
That's yeah.
Oh boy.
You can tell Viserys just wants to like keep everybody happy.
Oh yeah. I mean, people die in these things.
Ooh,
So.
dude. Damon's a little overconfident, man.
Whoa.
Oh, no, that's just
Cheap.
yeah.
Ah.
Oh, dude. Now he's really getting to Otto Hightower.
I mean, she can't turn him down, really.
Yeah.
It's give and take, man. It's give and take. It's politics.
Oh, man. Lady Emma.
Oh no.
Jesus. Dude, I mean, think about how complicated like childbirth is today. I mean, like women still die all the time today, and we can do C-sections and like all this stuff. To do medieval like childbirth, oh
yeah. Whoa.
whoa. Let's go. Dude, Corliss and Renee know what's up.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm with that kid.
Yeah.
Like,
oh God, man, she's like really picking it. Oh, I think childbirth still is a battlefield. My God, man.
oh.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, this totally changes, you know,
Yeah.
because in Fire and Blood, all we know is she just died during childbirth.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now, I mean, going in and adding context to where it's like Viserys that makes
I
the
know.
decision, like totally changes his.
Yeah.
Not that it like, oh, it's bad, it changes it. It's like we didn't know. It's a big,
Yeah,
huge
we didn't know.
outline. It
Sure.
defines his character. Now it's like, oh, now we know,
Man. It is weird right now in terms of who I'm rooting for right here. I mean, this is
Right.
kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's an open book. Yeah. Wow. Ugh. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah, the comment section. Oh, wow. Damon just got wrecked. Although in Tony Hawk, that's worth like 50 points. So
Yeah. Wow.
well, get ready, Damon.
Wow. What a fight.
Yeah. Not a good day for House Targaryen, though. Oh, dude. It's actually it'd be worth more like 400 points, but the Game of Thrones music is back.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, they're not kidding when they're saying fire and blood. Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow. And was it worth it, Ez?
Ah, man, I can't even comment right now. Uh, hmm.
Oh,
Hmm.
Balon.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, Game of Thrones is back. Both in the man, this is awesome parts and the wow, this is heavy parts.
Yeah.
Woo. This is where all those leaked photos came from.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Balon does not make it.
No.
Says he lives about a day in fire and
Yeah.
blood, so makes his
Air,
decision even worse.
air for a day. Hmm.
Dracarys. Olivia Cook's like looks unrecognizable. Well, it's not her yet.
Wow.
Yeah. It's kind of cool. I mean, hearing her saying Dracarys somberly because Daenerys always said it and she's about ready to like take it over. So to get like the flip of that is really, you know,
Oh yeah.
the casting is great though. Patty Considine as Viserys is great. Matt Smith is. Uh, this show's gonna clean up at the Emmys.
Yeah.
Hightower does give little finger vibes. It's a great comment. Yeah, they just set him down to speak.
Oh my.
Truth.
Wow. Mm. What is Hightower up to? What's going on?
Well, now he needs a wife.
You know, Hightower's not so bad. I mean,
Come on now.
he's just hand of the king, buddy.
Well, feels like he's really conspiring against Damon, not necessarily for himself.
No. Yeah. He's doing this for the betterment of the realm. Okay.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh. Wow, dude. Immediately just, well, here we go. Pinning off his daughter.
Mm-hmm. Matt, he's just genuinely concerned about the king. Okay.
Is he? trying to pull stuff up on the wiki, but it is down.
Mm-hmm.
That is not Olivia Cook.
I like Allison.
Wow.
Team Allison.
Damon.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Oh boy. Now that's gonna tick some people off.
Hmm. Ooh. Look at Blackfire. Mm. Damn.
Oh boy. Oh, let this. Oh, oh, stop.
I don't know if Damon's good enough to take on that many Kingsguard.
No. Viserys ain't messing around.
Not Kingsguard that are skilled.
Damon, you messed up, man. You messed up.
Wow.
Say you're sorry. Oh my.
Well, it's Viserys' fault. Oh, look, they're cutting himself on the Iron Throne.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Here we go. Here's the thing we thought I think is about to happen is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Wow. Ramjawaldi just tears it up.
Little light piano tearing it up.
Well, the name of the song is also The Prince That Was Promised. They released this one early. This song is so sick. Crick and start. Oh no.
He doesn't want to.
Oh, here it is. Let's go.
Oh boy. Absolute darkness. Oh.
Holy God.
Jeez. Matt.
The Song of Ice
And Fire. Oh my. It's the fight for everything.
Yeah. This is the White Walker secret. Dude, whoever the embroiderer is on this is like destroys it.
Wow.
Wow. Let's go. The Game of Thrones theme kicking. Let's go.
Oh wow.
And that's the children theme is what the song is, but it's what it plays at the end of season 4, I think, when Arya goes off to Bravos.
So good. So good.
Wow. Oh, there's like so there is something at the end. They do like a little talk about it or something.
Okay. Yeah, we could just we'll watch the credits out and get.
Yeah, I'm just listening to the song. Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, Jamie will hop in here. We'll do the podcast intro.
Right.
I have so much to say about this episode. It's so good just hearing the music again.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Rotten Tomatoes, House of the Dragon has an 88 fan percent and an 85 critic percent.
Wow. This is there. Wow. He is. He's in.
Yes. Just. Wow. Woo. Okay, let's pull that down. Let's get Jimmy in here. he's getting out. Okay, so let me go ahead and just hit the podcast. I don't know. Can we hear Jimmy just yet? Can we hear him?
I haven't said a damn word.
Okay, all right. Let me just hit the could you make a banner real quick just for podcast editing purposes?
Yeah,
that just says like start of show or like episode 1 review. Listen. Just for editing the podcast, it'll make it a lot easier. But I'll hit the intro for those of you guys who are going to be listening over on the podcast here, and we'll get it going. So hello and welcome to Bend the Knee, a Song of Ice and Fire podcast. I am Sir Matt, the Bud Knight.
And I am Ser Ezra, the Watchful. And friends, it's here. It's here. And
we are joined by Sir Jimmy of House Nuts, the Fantasy Nuttwork. And guys, let me go ahead and do it. Let me go ahead and say it. I got I can sum this episode up in 3 words. Westeros is back. We are back. Jimmy, what did you think, my friend?
I mean, I'm captivated. Listen, I've been cautiously optimistic, and in the last 2 weeks, I've let myself get very, very excited for this show. And I felt very confident going in here. What we heard from George and Ryan Condell, whatever, everything leading up to this has been, encouraging.
Right.
It went better than I ever could have imagined. And it's different in a way that I love. And we're not jumping across continents. We're not jumping apart, different parts of Westeros or anything. It's a different show, guys. This is a different show, but still maintains that quality. I mean, just little things, right? Allison's fingernails bleeding, her biting her finger. I mean, just things that are so small of detail, but then also has all of the grandiose, so epic shots that no one else can do. No one does it like this. My wife is not like, she's never even finished the original show. Like, she likes it, but she just kind of goes in and out of it, and she's still watching through it. Like, we got done, and she was like, that was a movie. She was like, that felt like when I saw Dune. She's like, it was an event. I was like, it was an event. In the pacing of the episode, I was very nervous because I heard some people say that it moved along a little quickly. I don't think so at all. I thought that the overall theme that you could subtly pick up on, that they trusted you to pick up on, is that Viserys is a weak king. And then the climax of the episode is when Daemon says, you are weak. I mean, tying those things together, and then you have, the birth scene might be one of the most disturbing things I've seen on television. Honestly, I was getting a little I was squirming in my seat a little bit. I lost it. And at the end of that episode, a song of ice and fire.
Guys, it's insane. It's a song of ice and fire. Let me put so Matt summed it up in 3 words. My one word is matters. Like, House of the Dragon matters so much. It's a song of ice and fire now. Like this, it mattered before, but it matters even more now. This is a change that's so good. It's so good for the whole thing. Just to pass that along, it's like, wow, that's what he's passing down to his heir. I don't know. I was absolutely blown away by this episode. I loved it. And like you said, Jimmy, the build up this whole way. He's weak. There's all this talk about him being an heir. And then at the end, he's sitting there, he's got Blackfire, and he's staring him down. He's commanding him to go. And then just, I don't know, the weight and the tension that you could feel in this was just through the roof.
Him holding Blackfire, and then you have the wielder of Dark Sister staring him down. Dude, Matt Smith, stand out of the episode. Stand out. Crazy.
Guys, I know sometimes I can be a little long-winded, so just bear with me, because there's so much I have to say about this. First and foremost, the single best compliment I can give this single episode, not even what the show's going to be or anything. This felt like an episode of season 3 or season 4 of Game of Thrones. Just viewing it as a standalone piece of content. The way, and you have the advantage of doing that because, we know what the Iron Throne is. We know all of those things. So I think it's hard to even try to compare this to the Game of Thrones pilot because it has to introduce us to the entire world. But, obviously this benefits from that. This felt like a peak episode of Game of Thrones. This felt like we were right back there, right watching like season 3 or season 4, like the little just political banter back and forth, and the eyes between Daemon and Otto Hightower as they're sitting, on the council, and talking about your wife and your wife. All of the little Game of Thrones being played was back. And the total standout for me, the man who deserves all the credit, freaking Ramin Djawadi, the music was so amazing.
The final scene,
Yeah, that song they released a few days ago, and it was called The Prince That Was Promised. And I was like, why is there a song called The Prince That Was Promised? And then they're tying it into the Song of Ice and Fire. And we talked about this. This was a potential leak. Spoiler, George has kind of mentioned stuff in the past. But when Rhaenyra flies up for the first time and you can see her, right? That theme is the exact same theme. Go back to season 8, and it's used with Dany a lot, but go watch season 8. I think it's episode 1 where Jon and Dany are flying. And you get a shot of them on both the dragons coming in, and it's the exact, like, point for point the same. It was one of those things we talked about with, like, trying to even compare this to, say, Star Wars, where we were saying, like, do you go an entirely different route for the music? Do you do something kind of similar? And I think he found the perfect ground of, again, like Star Wars, I think is a great example, where Star Wars, the music is all the same. And so everything feels the same, and everything you feel like you're right back in, and everything, like there's some motifs that are different in, like, say, the prequels, but it still has that same type of a feel as like the droid army, for example, sort of feels like the Imperial March. It's not, but it has that same type of feel, and it's John Williams who did the music. So here, he took a lot of the themes that he created, and he just expands on them. So it feels like we're back.
It's lineage.
And it feels new. Yeah. And it feels like it's older. It was just, perfect. Like, the score for this episode could not have been better. Could not have been better.
Not only that, but the look and the feel of the episode, I felt like this was truly Westeros 170 years ago. Like, Game of Thrones feels ancient and old, right? But, like, this felt older. Mm-hmm. King's Landing looked different, guys. Mm-hmm. It wasn't as, like, done up. It was a little bit more rudimentary. I felt like I was home.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to say that it also, you go back in time and it feels like there's not as much, I don't know, like embellishment, but at the same time, it's closer to its creation at the same time. You know what I mean? Like simpler and sleek, but because again, we're going back closer to when it was. Obviously improvements have been made, but it just felt really good. Like Matt said, you're stepping right back into Game of Thrones, not missing a beat in terms of, that's what they said in the promo, is that they were taking the best from Game of Thrones, which includes the music, the costuming, the sets, all that stuff. And it's sick.
The embroidery on all of the costumes is
the helm
so good.
Yeah.
Not that Game of Thrones obviously had great costuming and everything. It got a lot better in, like, season 3, compared to season 1. But again, it was launching an entire new show. But and by the end, all the costuming in Game of Thrones looked great. But this just feels bigger and better. And it's been 5 years. And if you just even think about some of the technology that, like, has in movies and everything that has just come about, like the volume in Star Wars, the way they filmed The Mandalorian, they said, I've read a lot of stuff that they use, similar type, that they use that same, a lot of that same technology and all that stuff. It's like, you can just see it. It's like Game of Thrones looked great, but this just looks so much.
Yeah.
Like, it just looks so good.
So the reason I didn't do a live watch along with you guys, because I just bought a new TV. So it's a 65-inch OLED LG G2. This thing is like,
they're so good.
Yeah. It's literally so like good. In my wall. And
I almost bait it. I was at Costco yesterday and they had it like right when you walk in, and I was like,
bro, this looked amazing in HDR 4K. It looked ridiculously good. And the dude, what you were saying about the score, like when she's putting on her hair, everything was building. That's the thing. It didn't feel forced, and it didn't feel like some weird cousin. Like, it literally does feel in universe. Like, it fits. That is what television can do. Like, that's prime TV. Like, that is actually like premium television right there.
Yeah, comment here from, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his name correctly.
Jay. That's my boy Jay.
Oh, Jay. Yeah, he says, I have the same TV. Looked fucking epic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, it was interesting too when I was watching, say, the scene where Daemon is talking to Viserys in the throne room, right? And you just think about all the times we've seen that throne room, right, in Game of Thrones, and it's always usually packed and everything. But here, there's like boxes lying around, and it's just so interesting seeing a lot of the same places that we've seen before, but in this new thing. The episode was a 10 out of 10 for me. This would have been one of the best episodes of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I think we still need we'll have bigger payoffs and like we have so much craziness to come, but like setting out to do what it's doing. This is better than the first episode of Game of Thrones by a lot.
Oh
Yeah.
Way yeah.
Yeah, what was the painting in the background? I see people keep saying this. I did not. I'm gonna watch it again.
I did not notice
before
that.
I make my review video later this week. But like, I
Yeah.
mean, my mind was just racing.
I mean, guys,
time.
you can't even. I'm trying to go back and do a click through, and thank God I didn't stop the stream when I was going through because it is crashing. I mean, it's crashing on me right now as I try to go back and do a little click through to find that picture. Want to mention real quickly too, just the tension, the way that they kind of did those moments. The small council is debating what to do with Daemon, and we're locked in on that conversation, and then they gently cut to Daemon listening, and I was like, it stops you for a second. Oh, they're hearing this. You're like, whoa. And you know something, right? That the other characters at the table don't quite know. And it just, that kind of stuff is brilliant. That's good. That's good storytelling. And they did it multiple times. So,
yeah. You know, this episode 2 also felt like, just if you think about just everything that was in it, it almost felt like, and it's great as a pilot for being this, it almost felt like a showcase of like all of the best stuff that existed in Game of Thrones. Right? Like we got a little bit of the political banter back and forth. We got, you know, there was some of the, stuff that's really hard to watch and that really grips you. Right.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, this is like crazy.
Even the battle.
Even the battle, like the fighting scenes were amazing. And then it ends with like the big prophecy song of Ice and Fire. It felt like, hey, this is a showcase of what this show is going to be and what Game of Thrones is had you never seen the original.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, guys, can I just say, so like as you go, people who were kind of doubting, you know, they were wondering what's this going to be about or whatever. They're coming in now saying like, all right, I'm impressed. I feel like from the get go, you're like, wow, this is intense. There's battles, there's tourneys, there's whatever. You got to the end of this, and it matters so. Like that secret being passed down. I mean, again, the episode without it is phenomenal. It's like if that wasn't done, it would be just again a 10 out of 10. This surpasses a 10 out of 10 when you call a Song of Ice and Fire and you go to that next level. Yeah. We're on a different level here, like a level we didn't expect, honestly. And it's
very obvious, even in episode 1 of that George Martin is way more involved in this than he was in Game of Thrones.
Right. And let's
way more.
Because the attention here, okay, you could have just had Daemon say when asked, did you say it? And does he answer, fellas? Did we actually see him? Did we actually hear him say it? No, but there were 3 witnesses, right, who came forward. Did we ever hear him confirm it? No, I mean, not necessarily, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of like that. We're playing with the ambiguous nature of Fire and Blood in a way, that way, and like maybe it won't even matter if he ever said. We're never gonna get the answer, right?
No, never.
But like that is just a kind of like a subtle nod to what this whole story is predicated on, which is conflicting reports. You know, it's little things like that are nods to the source material that I really get behind. And like even the like whenever they're kind of setting up the episode from the cold open, like that worked for me so much. And like I feel like so many other shows have done this, like this kind of cold open with the narration over. Lord of the Rings movies come to mind, right? And it just fit so well.
Yeah. No, the cold open was actually really good. That was a good way to kind of set the scene for everything, to add in some history. King Jaehaerys, tell us what's been going on. The fact that they brought up Maegor the Cruel and stuff like that, like they're alluding to not too far in, you know, back
from that point.
They said Daemon was good, but it was Maegor. Maybe worse.
Whoa.
Maybe worse. And it's like, listen, guys, back off Matt Smith. We got to see Matt Smith clap cheeks. Like, let's guys.
Wow.
I mean, come on. He clapped cheeks.
I will say the Emmys, or as they were known in the 2010s, the Game of Thrones Invitational, is basically, it's kind of like Alabama in the national championship. It's like pretty much the Alabama Invitational they get in every year. It's pretty much gonna be that again. It was kind of like, I hope you guys enjoyed that little 5-year pause, but the now House of Dragons Invitational has begun at the Emmys, because this show is gonna just clean house.
Yeah,
HBO's got a couple heavy hitters there, man. I mean, this is why I trust HBO. This is why I love HBO. They just do it different. And we've been seeing a lot of people point to other shows like, can this be the next thing? I'm gonna be honest. Like 1 and 2, it reminds me when Michael Jordan played in the NBA. It's like, dude, Shaq was really good. And he was the second best player, and then Michael Jordan was like here.
Right.
Yeah.
It is what
Nobody
it
comes
is.
close.
And I'm not trying to hate on other shows. I'm just saying that there's levels to this shit. That's all I'm saying.
This is the royal airness. This is the that commands the skies here, right? Just like old Jordan did back in the day. So I'm with you, man. Like, and Matt's right. Like, this is going to come back and win tons of awards.
Tons of awards.
Whether it's for, visuals, the costuming, the acting, all sorts.
The
the
score
music,
is like,
everything.
it's so good.
It's just phenomenal.
Okay, let's dive into a little bit of so we've talked. Okay, now that we've talked just a little bit about like just impressions. Like, okay, it's the show. Let's dive into some of the nitty gritty as like A Song of Ice and Fire lore and theorists here, because there was a lot of stuff we got to see, because Fire and Blood and A World of Ice and Fire and just sort of like what's talked about in the histories of this era, the Dance of the Dragons, is really open for interpretation. It's kind of just a broad outline. Like say Emma Aaron's death. All that's really said is that she died during childbirth and that her son died the next day. But now, on one hand, you could say they're changing it, but with George Martin so involved, I'm thinking this is actually a little more of like his plan for the way of what really happened. So, what do we think about Viserys now that he was a little more involved with it, man?
Another Targaryen just being deceived by dragon dreams, right? Like,
yeah,
he says, I've seen the dream as clear as day. It was realer than life. And it's like, well, you were right, kind of. And isn't that just kind of prophecy in general in the Song of Ice and Fire world? Is like, yeah, you were almost there. Like, you almost got it, but it had a whole different meaning. And dragon dreams, even in Dunk and Egg, we see them, how they are misinterpreted, and they can kind of even be allegory for power and struggle. So I just feel like Viserys, and maybe they could have driven it home a little bit more, but they kept it pretty subtle. They kept it pretty subtle with Viserys in his dreams. They mentioned, I think, twice, and then you see him make that decision. That was awful. Patty Constantine broke my heart. Like, goddamn.
Yeah.
The king better take care of that mercy.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Oh my. Yeah, that was again attention to detail in terms.
He's getting cut up by the throne. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Rhaenyra,
seeing the throne like that looks sweet too.
Yes, and I was wondering how it'd look on camera, like in a shot. The back is even bigger. Like, that's the thing I didn't because everyone pays attention to the steps and whatnot, but the back is actually bigger, and I'm like, man, that looks so
good. So
So
clearly, when Robert Baratheon got it, he's like, "Get this out of here!"
Yeah, he's trying to get nicked up left and right. I'm sick of this. All the stuff.
We're not doing this anymore. Fix it.
They had to get the seat stretcher,
the seat stretcher. Oh boy.
Jay said this in the chat, and I agree. He said, I honestly love the change of Rhaenyra and Alicent friendship so far, loving the changes. And I agree. I think them being friends is way better. Way, way, way better.
Yeah, because it tears you apart. I mean, this is like there's way more emotion to this. I mean, as Matt was even saying with Emma Aaron, all these changes or whatever, and as Jimmy pointed out and Jay there, it's like there's a emotion behind it, a lot more, instead of this one line in the page that she died or that they knew each other when they were young or something. We're now seeing all this stuff, and we're seeing how close they were, and that's going to tear them apart. They went through this emotional sort of like event together, and here she is getting passed on this great secret.
And Alicent getting passed to Viserys' bedchamber after hours.
Yeah.
Wow. And that was kind of interesting. And I liked, and as I said,
for the realm, by the way,
as I said this a little bit during when we were watching, Jimmy, so you didn't hear us say it, but it almost feels like, and I'm glad they're kind of going this way, is at least in episode 1, it felt a little bit more like Otto wasn't necessarily trying to, he wasn't really playing the game like for him to get more power. He was more so just kind of playing to get Daemon out of power. It was more like he was like, playing, just being like, I don't like Daemon. Like I need to get him out. So it wasn't like, oh, I want to marry this, my daughter off so that I'm now more in charge. It feels like he's just like, he's like, I just hate Daemon. I feel like there's layers to it, right? Because Daemon's the immediate threat to his influence. So now that Daemon's sent away, we are now going to see Otto Hightower start to scheme I think we're going to see his truer intentions now. Right. And I mean, sending Alicent
she's biting her nails, nervous.
Man,
that
they
was rough.
played that up. Yeah.
Yeah, and well, her nails. Did you see at the tourney when it cut and her nails were bleeding?
Bleeding. Yeah.
What a detail.
Yeah. So you bring up a really good point about Damon. So at the end, right, Damon actually goes up and tells him some truth. But at the same point in time, what we saw was also this. I mean, they're both kind of right in that, like, Damon's crazy, but at the same time, Damon's like, you have enemies all around you. They think you're weak, and I'm really trying to protect you from yourself. I mean, but it's just there's bits of truth in everything that everybody's saying around the table, which is Game of Thrones. There's a little bit. It's like who do I believe? Who do I trust? I mean, they're very persuasive. When all the different members at the council are very persuasive, you're like, this is tough. It's a tough call.
Yeah.
So
yes,
somebody left a very good comment during the live stream and said that they felt like, and at least maybe they were just talking about what we see in the show, that Damon is kind of like half Ramsay, half Jaime Lannister. And I was like, I think for people who only watch Game of Thrones, I think that is probably a pretty good sort of comparison to kind of just for like if you watch Game of Thrones, you don't know anything about the books, and you're like, I think that is a good comparison.
Yeah. And I like that people are pointing out that Maesters come from Old Town, which is where Otto comes from, right? And then Maester Mellos is there, and it's like, also, what about the bonnets? Did you guys like the Maester bonnets?
Yeah.
I loved it.
Dude, I will say this, who else I thought looked freaking awesome? Corlys Valerian.
Oh, he did.
Dude, he's gonna. I think House Valerian is gonna be so sick. I think they're gonna be awesome.
I think the casting of this show is so good, and I mean, obviously, we know the original show also did a great job, but like to hit it out of the park again with the casting, it's awesome. It's really great.
I'm still so shocked that it's like Millie Alcox, I think is her name, who plays the young Rhaenyra, and then it'll be Emma Darcy later, and then I don't know the young Allison's name just off the top of my head, but then Olivia Cook. Again, we've talked about this. Man, they look just like them, like the older versions, which is so crazy. Just so crazy to see. Yeah, the episode just visually was so stunning.
How did you guys feel about the dragons CGI? I see a couple people in chat saying they didn't care about the CGI. I'm not a big CGI snob. Like, I don't really care.
I am a big CGI snob. I don't know. I didn't have any issues with it. I'm wondering if some people, because a lot of people were having technical issues, and so sometimes y'all notice it. Like when I was watching Wheel of Time, I remember I was having connecting issues, and so I was kind of like, wow, the CGI looks like really bad, because that show, like, the CGI wasn't as great. Even like when I was able to watch it next day in a pure stream, the CGI still wasn't like that good. But when you're also maybe having some buffering issues, it can really make CGI look bad. Yeah.
I mean, there's times where I can obviously tell it's a CGI dragon because, spoiler, dragons don't exist in real life. But like Damon petting it, it knocking his hair back, these type of, like, the really close up looked really good, I thought. And I actually love the variance in the dragons. Like, I like the fact that, like the worm actually has like a longer neck. Like, that makes sense. And we kind of talked about it leading up to the show, but even the scene with the saddle, right? Jakaris. Just little details like that I really enjoyed. So I don't necessarily know much about CGI. I just know that I never felt like,
well, certainly compared to what's going on at like Disney with Marvel and Star Wars right now, where the CGI is bad.
Yeah, it could have went a lot worse, because apparently CGI is super backed up since COVID. Those studios are still struggling. So but I thought it was good.
No, I thought the CGI looked great too. I'm gonna pull up a picture of just episode 1 of Game of Thrones to show some people, just for comparison, like what it looked like compared to even just the rest of the series, just so I can pull this up, so it'll be funny.
Yeah. Guys, just want to point out a couple things here. So I'm just kind of trying to scrub back through the episode, and I forgot about, because it's early on, the weirwood tree that they're in front of.
Yes.
Right. So I won't be surprised whatsoever if they pick very important moments to play out or dialogue in front of that tree, and it'll just be a part of the story. But there's a witness, you know what I mean? And I just felt like that was kind of cool. Now in this scene, it was really nothing. It was really just them, the friendship, them kind of talking about, what was it? I think Dorne and Nymeria and stuff like that. So, but I feel like going forward, you're going to have important moments said there that were going to tie into Weirwood Network. Who knows? You know what I mean? I was like, the fact that it was there, I was just like, that's just another another layer. So
yeah, it definitely seems like, we're talking about awards and stuff because like we need the general audience to love this, right? But like,
yeah, just look
this
real quick. Look at that beach blonde Tyrion hair in episode 1. Then of course it got much, obviously much better as it went on. But yeah, just in trying to like remember, oh yeah, what did Game of Thrones episode 1 look like? It looked a whole lot different than the rest of the series.
It sure did.
Right.
I think we're gonna get, obviously the Emmy winning episodes and everything, but it feels like you said, Matt, it feels very George inspired in the fact that there are things that are just going to appease us, the diehards, right, for A Song of Ice and Fire. And I'm here for it. And
like, we can talk about it because we haven't talked about it with you, Jimmy. Even though you were actually the one who initially brought it up to us, and I did give you credit in all those videos, just so you know. And I thought, the whole long night business, and I think that it's so cool that this thing will get lost during the dance without trying to spoil what happens. But I think that's a great thing for it to happen because the next set of Targaryens are the ones who start to get rid of dragons. And if they had any idea about what this potential threat is that could come, there's no way they would get rid of dragons.
Yeah, I mean, we know that this is like massive implications on the lore, right? Like this is about as big as it gets whenever you talk about the original reason Aegon came. I like the fact that when they revealed it, it's still pretty ambiguous. Like he knows something's coming in the darkness, but it isn't like, hey, this is going to happen. I have to have this, this, and this. He has pieces, just like all the other dragon dreams, just like Viserys did. And this is all kind of like tying together, right? Like you've already seen one dream fall apart and be misinterpreted. And now we're talking about this dream that we're passing down generations to generations to generations. Like, how is it being confused? How is it being misconstrued? And what is eventually going to be the result where this secret has been forgotten? Also, who wrote it down? That Rhaegar picked it up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He finds it somehow later.
Yeah. And there's just like, I see some people online that are like, this ruins everything. This is a retcon. If you go back and read the books, no, it's not. It's absolutely not. It's just, it's simply not. Like 15 years probably it's been around in the books. If you go and really think about like the things that are said, things that happen, Aemon's dreams, where he said that we always thought it would be a boy. We always thought it would be a boy, right? And then you have the fact that Rhaegar just went in and picked up a scroll and all of a sudden he wants to play warrior. Like you can't accept that for face value in this type of series, right? Like there's a purpose behind it all. So I think that there's a lot of, mystery around some of the decisions that Aegon made, but I do believe that there is a lot of justification for all of it. So I'm really excited about this. And, I'm a book reader first. Like I put the books above the show in my head, but I can't say that I wasn't super stoked in those last 10 minutes. Like,
well,
that's
everything.
Straight from George. Yeah.
It's straight from George. And it's like, the idea he I don't know. You're led to believe Viserys throughout this first episode is weak, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except for he is holding on to something that is like only he can pass on to the heir. It's so important. He so matters. And this episode and this whole series matters and ties into Game of Thrones. Like that's the whole tie-in. That is the whole like tie-in for the whole thing from Game of Thrones to House of the Dragon. It matters now. It's not just some prequel or whatever. It's like, no, there will be a Targaryen that needs to sit on the throne. We will need to be united one day to face that threat. Darkness will ride on the winds, right? Out of the north. And like, we need a Targaryen there to face that threat. And that is passed down to who? Rhaenyra. Not Daemon, not anyone else. It's Rhaenyra. And he, all of a sudden, he stops the playing. He stops the tournament. He stops messing around. He says, it's time to get serious. I need an heir. I'm done with this. And he goes back to the dreams. He goes back to his, like their roots, their blood, why the Conqueror came here. And sort of like, I don't know. He just brings an intensity to this that was not there from him. He's kind of laughing. Like Matt said in the episode, he wants everybody to kind of get along, etc., playing peacemaker, and call him weak, but he does some pretty awesome things here and says, I'm at least going to pass this on to my heir and make sure that this is set up the right way. Now, everyone plotting around him, Daemon and the High Tower says, we're going to see the loss of the secret. But that right there made everything matter. And it was just the best move I've ever seen. I think it's just the best way to tie this in. And that's a George move.
It's a great tie-in without being like fan servicey, in my opinion. It brings continuity to both shows, which is really important, and still has us asking really important questions about the books. It's a win on every side for me.
Yep.
I really believe so. Now, here's something I want to bring to the table. Yep. And this is, I had a friend who messaged me and told me to bring this up. So when we think about Aegon the Conqueror now, and you think about this really interesting situation now that he has had this dream, do you think the letter that was sent from Dorne has any implication into this? Remember the letter sent to Aegon that got him to stop trying to conquer? And we never know what that letter says?
Right. Because Rhaenys...
Does Dorne know something?
Yeah, for sure. Something, right? What is it? I mean, what role
do
they
hold
play?
On a second. Hold on a second. I thought that the whole reason that Dorne sends the letter was because Rhaenys was there, right? Remember,
we have no idea that this was after all this.
You're right.
So they send the letter. We have no idea what it says. Aegon just came out and was like, we're not conquering Dorne. We're done.
Right. Done. He walks away.
And we don't know what the letter says.
We don't know what like Rhaenys falls, but we don't really necessarily know. Like, I mean, he. What's it say? Yeah, he burns it. I think see people in the chat kind of talking about that instantly. Something. So
John not sit on the throne, but it was Arya that did it. Although he was touching the dagger, the same dagger that Arya uses.
Dude, the fact that was used to try to assassinate Bran all the way in season 1, like, dude, I know everyone's like, oh yeah, but the outcome was stupid. I don't care. Like, I love the journey of the dagger. It's so interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, did we see a clip, Matt, where he puts it in the flame? Mm-hmm. And there's like runes on it or whatever. There's like a secret message. And you kind of feel like that's something super important. And we'll see Alicent with it later, but the king will wear it and he'll pass it down to his heir, sort of thing. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. This is not just any dagger. It's the king's dagger with a secret message on it about the White Walkers, I'm presuming. Right. So,
yes.
I mean,
so insane.
Only fire can tell the secret that's on that dagger. It's just.
My cat's ball dagger's downstairs, or I'd see what the Valyrian glyphs say on it. Because now they're speaking Valyrian in the show, so I can speak Valyrian.
It now. Yes, dude.
So good.
That was so good. I thought when they came out, when she walks into the throne room, first of all, when you see Daemon sitting on that throne, wow. I was getting chills, just like he's off the throne, man.
My wife was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, uh-oh.
So something that actually people are blowing up on Twitter right now. I just wanted to pull up Twitter to see everything. And as I talked about it, and I said during the live stream, I said, one of the most interesting things I thought about this episode was in Game of Thrones, we always saw Daenerys riding on the dragons, and it's like she's about to mess stuff up, and she says Dracarys. But here, Rhaenyra is like saying it, and it's a somber, like sad way to say it, and like everyone is like that's like the one thing that everyone is tweeting right now. Talking about how like they just loved it. Rotten Tomatoes, it's like I think it's 88% fan score, and it's now up to 85% critic score. Twitter seems to be actually pretty, I mean, I'd say like 90% positive.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, so I muted my phone during it, and I was like, I know, like we all heard, like the lead people are like, oh, it's pretty good, but you don't know until the masses hit it. And I was just like, I came away and I was like, I'm gonna like this, and I'm not gonna let somebody like change my mind about it. I mean, obviously, I'll listen to good points and stuff, but like my gut reaction was just like, this works. Like this works for me. It feels like I'm back in Westeros.
So I'm just on Twitter. I typed in House of the Dragon and hit latest, which is just whoever's tweeting, whoever it happens to be. Let's see here. I never watched Game of Thrones, but I thought I would give House of the Dragon a try, seeing it was 200 years before Game of Thrones. First episode, not bad. We'll see how it goes. I need more. Episode 1 is incredible. All I can think about while watching House of the Dragon is, do dragons poop while flying? That would be a very big surprise when you're going about your day. I don't know. Great question. Maybe
it fiery? Wow.
Maybe we'll see. Jousting is strange. Once you get knocked off the horse, you get to change the game to a sword fight. It's like so. Right. It's always House of the Dragon started off with a bang. So pumped. So yeah, I mean it's First episode is fire. Can't wait till next Sunday. Yeah, I mean, it's overwhelmingly positive.
There was a piece of the tournament, right, where we're seeing these people commit murder, and Rainey's is talking to Corliss, and she's like, these people haven't seen a good war. Maegor's been dead for 70 years. And it was like cutting back to Viserys in the birth scene, which was very disturbing. And then you cut to Alicent's nails, and everyone's face is a little bit tense, but you can tell the people in the stands are kind of like, yeah, kill him. And it's like this underlying like buildup. Like a pressure cooker is coming into King's Landing and obviously Westeros as a whole. And like, you can just feel the tension building. I thought that was the best. Well, I had to really think about it, but that was one of the scenes that really kind of was provocative to me and stood out.
I loved also that it opened with a sort of like 172 years before, not Robert's Rebellion, not 172 years before Game of Thrones, 172 years before Daenerys Targaryen.
Yeah.
Like, so sick. Like, just even setting the tone. Like, no. We're not talking about anything that happened in Game of Thrones. We're talking about specifically like Daenerys.
Right. Yeah. No, that was sick. I mean, the tie-in there is huge, and that's the big deal. She's the character that in the book series we're rooting for. She's this whole arc over in Essos, comes back, going to be completely different in the books, but then everyone's rooting for her. She is what's needed at the end, and so then these are her ancestors. This is how this started. She's the princess that was promised, right, as Aemon says, and so we see that here in, as Matt said, with the title of that song as Rhaenyra is being named the heir. It's everything to pass on that secret. Saw a comment in here, by the way, about the Stark. So we know, like, but not to jump way ahead here, but probably after this episode at some point, we will speculate about this very topic and the dagger and passing on the secret more because of Torrhen Stark and what will happen later on and how maybe the Starks get involved in some of that, the lost message or part of it or something, you know what I mean? Because they sort of step in there at some point and are, hugely important. So
yeah, I did love the way, because we'd seen the trailer, which was I think it was the first trailer where it showed some of that scene of them all swearing their oath to Rhaenyra, and one of the names you hear is Cregan Stark. But I love that they pinned it back and forth with like him talking about the White Walkers and winter will come and all this stuff, and then it cuts to Cregan Stark and all this stuff. Oh, so sick. Or not Cregan Stark, but Rickard Stark. Right. Yeah, Cregan Stark will be a thing later for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought Harrenhal. People are talking about the sets, in the places we went. Harrenhal gave me chills.
Oh, it was good, wasn't it?
Gave me chills, man.
Yeah, people were talking, being melted down and stuff like that, and starting there. They're bringing the chest in, and you've got. I actually think, Jimmy mentioned it earlier, Rainey's, who was narrating the beginning of what? No, that was I think
it's Emma Darcy. I think
who's
narrating. Yeah, who will play old Rhaenyra. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, that was intense. Just the look between those two and her and Viserys, and so some of the mocking that's going on. It's just a little bit, but it's enough to sort of say whose side are you on? Corliss is hard to kind of read. I mean.
Yeah, because he's saying Daemon, and then he's also saying my wife should be there, and they're like, "You just said that you were for Daemon."
Exactly. He's sort of
he's just saying, "Hey, man."
He's
also
he's a sea snake.
Rainey's the queen who never was. Dude, such a good cast. I mean, just good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna scrape through. So to start this whole thing out. So you remember the court when they're walking through. Matt, we talked about this in the trailer breakdown, where Cersei's at like that open sort of red keep or whatever. That's the same spot, right? I mean, it's the same spot where she's at and everything. Yeah. So stuff like that, just seeing familiar spots and everything, and it was so good. Oh, the other thing was the lighting in this. So all of the candle work that they did, which is crazy, the reflections off of the table, everything. When you get a chance to go back and look at the lighting, I'm just kind of going back through it. So perfectly done.
Yeah, because a lot of times Game of Thrones was too dark.
Yeah.
To be fair. And like this was dark, but it was still like the lighting was just done better. I mean, that's just one of those things where it's like that's just like whatever. It reminded me a lot actually of the Batman, which came out earlier this year, which that movie felt like there was a lot of scenes where you just have like Batman and whoever, and it's almost like being lit by like one single like light bulb, you know,
Yeah.
in the corner, and it was very aesthetic for that movie. And this felt to me like that, like where you just had like the like one little candle, but in Game of Thrones, oftentimes it's just too dark to see sometimes. But this, like, you know, so they're enhancing it somehow, but it was so
when they
so
cut
good.
to the red keep at the beginning of the episode, right before we get our first like look at the council, there was like just a slight lens flare that almost it almost reminded me a little bit of Fire. And I'm looking at the red keep and I'm like, oh my god, like, is that intentional? I don't know.
Yeah, you can see the budget in this.
Oh, definitely. There's two things in chat. One, some people are asking about the lesion on the king's back. That's from the Iron Throne cutting him.
Yeah.
Which is like so on point. But also someone's asked this, and I'm not sure what was with the balls and the table at the council meeting. And we talked about this when we broke down the trailer. Remember, we're like, what the hell are those balls?
I think it's just I think it's just, I don't know, it's probably some ceremonial thing. And then I don't know.
Like a vote or something, or
like I don't remember reading about it in Fire and Blood or anything. So is that something that I missed?
I don't know. I don't ever remember that.
Yeah, no. It seems like something new where they're gonna cast votes, or they're possibly they're present or something. Some people have said it's cancer that cut on him, but
yeah, I just remember him in the episode. They said, you know, that it was from the Iron Throne cut,
right?
So I don't know.
Well, the big question with that cut is that because, you know, people have speculated back in the day. We didn't answer the question whether or not Alicent has anything to do with his death later on, or is it just going to be this cut? Or does she hasten it a little bit for whatever reason? So
Vulture is reporting that there will be an opening sequence next week. I talked about this. Wheel of Time did the exact same thing. Actually, a lot of shows, to be fair, do on their pilot episode where they just have sort of like a title card. They don't do like the full intro, but HBO shows are kind of known for their very, like, I don't know, I'm not over the top, but it's just like that. They take a lot of pride in their opening title sequences. Like The Sopranos has a very good one. Deadwood had a very good one. Obviously, Game of Thrones. Peacemakers was great earlier this year. I mean, what will it be? I think it's going to be, I hope, on all honesty, I hope it's just the same with like different music. If you want to do like a slightly different whatever, I hope it's kind of just like the Game of Thrones thing, because then to me, it's like you're building it like Star Wars, where it always starts off, you know, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Star Trek has its kind of similar thing. Trying to think of some other shows where they kind of do that, where they use like a very similar opening for multiple things. But that's just the way I would go. But Wheel of Time actually had a pretty cool intro scene that felt kind of like Game of Thrones, to be honest, and it'll probably be something like that.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. I wonder what it'll sound like. I wonder what it'll feel like. But I think it'll probably be very close to the original theme. It's kind of like they always changed up the Wire's intro song every season. They always did like a different type of genre for the opening song, and that was always really cool. So
The Sopranos doesn't change, does it? I'm in season 2 currently.
I don't believe so.
Yeah. Deadwood, I know, did not change theirs.
People are saying the balls are obsidian dragon glass. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is pretty neat. They're talking about like possible ways to identify yourself, and they were worried about assassins, if they're faceless men, or something different like that. And that's kind of cool, because Matt's brought up the idea that we might see a faceless man, or there's some wild card that we haven't yet seen that would involve like that guild, which would be, I think, really cool. You know.
Well, just a second. Do you guys realize we saw Harry's on our screens today?
I know.
Like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like, we are so fortunate to have this kind of budget. Like, I don't know, you know, after season 8, there was a lot of speculation we'll never see this thing again, the franchise, all this stuff. And then like you get this first episode and it just worked. And I just feel really lucky.
I think you're right. The fact that we got that, because that was our big question coming in, is sort of like, how are they going to like give us context and tie us back to some of Aegon the Conqueror, and then explain what like the state of the realm and then where we're going. They did a great job of not doing too much. I mean, that opening sort of dialogue, and then seeing the Council of 101 AC, and then talking about the secret at the end. It's everything. Like, it was so well. Like, I think you said, Jimmy, when you first started, like, it wasn't overdone. Nothing felt overdone. It was just very natural. Everything just felt really smooth and good. And
it did feel serious. Like this felt like serious. And that's, Matt, I like when you said, this felt like an episode kind of out of season 3 and 4 where like we're in it, right? I wonder where some of the comedic balance will come. I don't want them to marvel it up too much where, everything's got to be a, wink and a, I don't want that. I think Damon had a little bit of light. Like he had some light lines, which also really helps flesh out Damon as a character because he's not Magor actually. So like that's a big distinction. And I think after episode 1, even a new viewer could see, well, this guy's not all bad. Like he clearly has some depth to him, and he loves his brother. I believe that as well. So I wonder who will provide some of the comedic relief, and I hope that they don't lean too much into it. Like I said, kind of like Marvel does that a lot, right? It's like the big moment, and then there's one guy making an offhand comment. I hope they kind of stay away from that. They did that a lot in later seasons too. But I wonder, it just this first episode felt so serious.
Oh, so good. This episode, just the overall pacing and everything in this episode to me was like perfect. I mean, I'm at a 10 out of 10 on this episode because I thought as a pilot, it came in and did exactly what it needed to do. It showed you what the series is going to be. It gave you like similarity. This is why this show is similar to Game of Thrones. And just on its own, it was just a great episode. It did so many comments. It did feel like a movie. You can feel the budget. And they've said that the budget for HBO is only going to get bigger. Like that's the crazy thing is this was actually, because I know I've talked about the whole merger and the Warner, the business side of everything. But this was like the final part of HBO being owned by AT&T, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I do feel, regardless, I know it feels like they're pulling a Band-Aid off by canceling all this other stuff, but it's like they're not touching HBO, like with Discovery Channel. They're like, that's the one thing that's working. If anything, we're doubling down. So whatever we're getting right now, season 2's budget is going to be that much bigger. Like that's crazy.
I think I underestimated also the reach of this show. I knew it was going to be a success. Like, and I said it'll probably never, reach those same levels that Game of Thrones reach as far as the zeitgeist goes, right? Mm-hmm. Because like that's a different thing other than just winning Emmys and stuff. Like Succession is a phenomenal show and it still hasn't captured the zeitgeist. I was wrong. If you look at the Twitter impressions and not just Twitter, but YouTube, any social site that kind of tracks these metrics, this episode is destroying records. Even before it was out, it already had as many ratings as the last episode of Succession, which people say is the best, and I'm not saying one's better than the other. I don't want to make it all tribal, but I'm just saying I did not realize how big this is potentially going to be.
And this will take me to, as you're going to have to help me with this. Okay. This will take me to the Mama kill in the room. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
The Mama kill. Yeah. The elephants in Lord of the Rings. Is that how you, elephant in the room, right?
Yeah.
Because a narrative that will begin next week, next week at least, is going to be, just because of timing and everything, is this versus Rings of Power.
Right.
I mean, that narrative will begin next week when Rings of Power comes out. So, I mean, now that we've seen House of the Dragon, what are we thinking a little bit here?
I mean, kind of. Go ahead, Ez. Actually, you have a mistake in the game.
No, I just want to say. I mean, I think it's gonna be really, really interesting. Couple things. All right, here we go. Let's dive down this, because what this did, Jimmy said something interesting about the stakes of this the show and just the reach, right? I think you said just in terms of how people are, they went back in, everybody who was there, that audience that was there at that season 8 went back in and said, let's check this thing out. And they all went, wow. And then they went, oh my God, this actually matters and is tying into the main series. There's like a secret. They mentioned like the freaking Night King. I mean, it's all like tying to that. That's something I didn't expect. I didn't see that, just even as somebody who was going to go watch it anyways. So that's huge. It's set. It's locked in. Now in Rings of Power, they're doing stuff right now also that is movie level. Everyone's saying this is like a movie. This is like a movie. Rings of Power is also going to bring like a heavy hammer up in here. The other thing that's going on there, I mean, I very well believe that the stranger that we see in that is like either Saruman, Glorfindel, one of the wizards. So you're going to see like again, that tie back to why does this matter? the Rings of Power. You're going to see Sauron. You're seeing things that matter later on. So very similar to House of the Dragon, having that tie back to Game of Thrones. You're going to have Rings of Power tying into like you might see a good wizard like Saruman. Saruman might actually be the guy that we're following in Rings of Power, who's actually helping people fight off Sauron. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that they're bringing to the table and saying, watch us. Like Galadriel is the main character in that. So it is going to be like a couple of Titans up in here just going at it, which is awesome. It's bringing everybody to the table. The other thing that they've done, they're doing next week, like some massive sort of for free. They're posting tickets by noon tomorrow that you can go watch Rings of Power in theaters the day before that premieres. What's that do? You watch episode 1, then you say, got to get Prime, got to see episode 2, and so on. Right? They know. I mean, they're pulling everything out, right? I mean, they both have done the red carpet stuff. They've gone crazy. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's literally just all the award shows. It's just literally it's either Rings of Power or House of the Dragon. I mean, it's just like this back and forth thing, which is fine, which is great.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, I just think one, we're not going to get a balanced take on it from our good viewers tonight because we're Westeros people here.
For sure, okay, for sure. Absolutely.
I am cheering for Rings of Power. I think it has way more questions to answer than this show does, especially with how people feel about certain lore decisions or whatever. I don't know. We'll have to see. I honestly I don't even know if it's. I can't really put any words on it because I just have to see Rings of Power at this point because I knew House of the Dragon was going to be competent. I knew it was going to be a competent show because of the history of it. I was still blown away. And I think that's saying a lot for someone who has an extreme bias and is very optimistic. So I just got to wait and see. I got to wait and see. I don't know.
See, and that's why tonight's episode for me was so impressive on so many levels. That's why I'm like, it's an absolute 10 out of 10. I would give it like a 50 out of 10 because look at all let me just go down the list of everything that this show had going against it, right? For starters, most sequel or successor shows of any main franchise typically fail. They're very few and far between that even succeed enough to get a handful of seasons, let alone any show that can actually ever be more successful or as successful. I mean, they're very, very, very rare. Go look at almost any sitcom that's ever had a spinoff. Like Friends, one of the most successful shows in history. They tried a spinoff with like Joey, flopped so hard. It's very rare. Star Trek was able to pull it off with Next Generation. Cheers to Frasier, which actually was more successful, but it's pretty rare. I mean, it's very rare to have any sort of sequel show ever succeed at all.
Yeah.
Let alone something that in theory could be better. So you have that just going up against it in the first place. Then, of course, you have all of the hang up of season 8. People were like, I'm so done with this franchise, all this other stuff. So now you add that to the mix where like, no, this show has to be good. If you want to turn Westeros into a Star Wars or Marvel or DC, Harry Potter like franchise, it has to not only do well on its own, it has to do well in spite of some hangups of the final thing. Then you add in the fact that like this is the new baby of like a multi-billion-dollar, exchange from AT&T to Warner Brothers Discovery, where they're like, hey, we're banking on this being like the whole deal for our company. And then the show is just freaking sick on its own. I mean, and then you have Rings of Power that it's going up against. Like I'm not even nervous, worried, whatever. Not saying Rings of Power is going to be bad or anything, but it's like just seeing what I saw tonight. Like it will, if Rings of Power is the greatest show that's ever existed, this show will still be fine going up against it.
Oh, absolutely. It would be like you said, it is done enough on its own, just as a show without all the other stuff going on, all the other hoopla or the baggage or the context to it by itself is just great. And then it does so good at tying in and wrapping up stuff or just making things matter. It's good on its own.
I'm going to be honest. And I'm just being transparent. I don't really care about Rings of Power. I'll be honest. I've been excited because it's fantasy and that's kind of what I do and whatnot. But I just feel like I'll get to it when I get to it. Right. I'm ready for
Yeah.
episode 2 of House of the Dragon. Like I'm focused. I'm focused here. You know?
Yeah. And I think a lot of people too, here's the thing. I think a lot of people will, what they've done in this very first episode is to say, I don't know. I know there's gonna be all this like the battles with dragons and back and forth, the High Towers versus Targaryens and blacks and greens. But we have really, just to wrap up the Rings of Power conversation or whatever, it's just a huge question mark for even Tolkien fans, even that fan base.
yeah.
They just have no idea what it's gonna be. So that by itself is also like alluring and very much like, okay, we got to go sit down and have a watch of this. But as like you say, we already have a world here. Like this actually already fits in with something else we really love. And there's a snow show coming out. Like they've already jumped ahead and said, hey, this is actually going to matter and tie into a ton of different projects. So yeah, it's kind of really got that going for it.
Yeah, I think even still, I would actually give the benefit to, regardless, even before this episode even aired, I would give the advantage to Game of Thrones just because, or House of the Dragon here, because Game of Thrones was only, well, really, it was like 5 years ago, which is crazy to think.
It's only 3.
Well,
right?
it was 2019. Yeah, so we started in 2017. So sometimes I think about
if I got you.
Yeah. That's why I kind of think my mind always jumps there. Right. It's only, it's like 3 years ago. Right. But there was a big time jump in between season 8 and season 7 because it took a while to film. So Lord of the Rings, I mean, I guess the Hobbit movies, were a while ago, but the Lord of the Rings movies were even kind of further, away.
23.
Yeah.
Which is that's crazy to think about.
Yeah, we old boys, we're old.
Yeah. And now Rings of Power is going like thousands of years before, as opposed to just a few hundred.
Yeah, it's tough to kind of put it to like how does it matter? How does it fit into like a universe? Also, they're separate, right? They're different. They're produced by Amazon versus like New Line, and so
whereas this is HBO picking up where they left off.
It's all in universe and it all kind of fits and matters and is a different piece of the puzzle. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm super excited for Rings of Power.
I'm excited to see what it is.
But I do get why this is like, so we can think back in our recent memory and say, I know what's going on here, and I know how this ties into that, and it is massive. And I just didn't expect it in episode 1. Guys, they pull Rhaenyra into the Kingsguard, walked up to her chambers and said, your father has summoned you, right? And they go down, right? I mean, you get the dragon skull, the candles laid there, and he asks her, hasn't spoken to her, and says, what do you see, right? And starts talking about power and dragons, right? And what does it all mean? And he shares this secret that is just so mind-blowing, was not anywhere in the text. So that's something new for fans, for book reader, for show watchers, whatever. I just didn't expect. I mean, I know we were talking about it beforehand, but just the way they pulled it off, and the fact that they did it, the way they did it is just huge. And to see the seriousness with that, Rhaenyra walking in there talking to her father about this it's just mind-boggling.
And we saw the Gold Cloaks, not formed like their inception, but we're hearing about the beginning of them.
Yeah.
Guys,
but yeah, I know it's everything, right? It's all these different factions that are starting up and everything, and it's just it's sort of like the beginning to it all. It's
how much time do we think passes between episode 1 and 2?
That's a good question, because we know
there's
a time, right?
Yeah, because all the reviewers I've watched who are the people who get like the very early screeners, now they get stuff before like VFX is even finished, because it's like they get it so far ahead, and they gave out to all of those, like the people have like 1 million subscribers. Maybe one day we'll get there. They gave them the first 6 episodes, which is what they felt. They were like, this is what we want you guys to see. And they all said that episode 6 was where like the big time jump happened, where we switched to like Emma Darcy and Olivia Cook. But it's a lot of them actually described the show very similar, and a lot of them said, and we've only obviously seen episode 1, but that it's a slow burn, and that it felt very much like Succession was what and The Crown was what they described it as.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that sounds like too, though, because I'm thinking about the characters who need to sort of show up, and his, marriage to Alicent and other tourneys that are going to happen and things that will happen with Daemon. Where does he go? Dragon Egg, lots of different stuff, things that we even saw from the trailer, a dance sequence with Rhaenyra, her
we heard about the Crab King down at the steps.
Yeah,
we know that fight's coming,
which is cool. Yeah. So I guess you're right, Matt. We're going to see probably, another 5 more episodes of Viserys's sort of reign, and what happens during all of that, and really sets the stage, which is good because you have a great actor there and a really, really cool king who's just passed on the secret. And like, then it's almost like we get this episode 1, we sort of lose track of it. There's a war at the Stepstones. Rhaenyra is growing older. Alicent is having children. And we're like, oh, wait, but hold on a second. The air super matter, it gets all kind of muddied. So,
and what's this letter to Old Town Otto wrote? What's that all about?
Right?
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
scheming.
He is scheming. And right now, though, if you weren't in the know, you're like, he doesn't seem like that bad of a guy. He seems like he's really just fighting for the realm. But if you didn't know any better and you're just sort of a straight show watcher, you're like, I don't know, it seems okay. Alicent seems like she's super concerned and says something really nice and touching to the king. So
yeah, and when you're thinking about characters that like can be really good for conversations, like Viserys, obviously his decision with his wife, it paints him in 2 totally different lights from the beginning of the episode to the end of the episode. But I think Daemon is so fascinating, and that's why Matt Smith's kind of the standout for me. Is like, I'm very curious what the popular opinion of just the general, not even so much us, we're all really deep into this, but like, just like my mom and dad, like I want to know what they feel about Daemon. Is he a renegade? Is he, are they Team Otto? I'm curious.
Right. And that's what I was hoping it would do, this is that we all start to kind of gravitate towards a person or a faction or whatever. Again, we've read it, us 3 sitting here, and a lot of you guys in the chat. So we sort of know, I kind of get, the bullet points or the outline of where this is going to go. But other people they have no idea. And they're going to be at large rooting for this person or that person. Yeah.
And look. Oh, go ahead, Jimmy.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to bring up just a few more comments I pulled up from Twitter here. So shout out to he's one of my followers, and I follow him. His name's Josh Babcock. Really, I follow him more for sports. He's like a Browns fan, and so we actually disagree on almost everything. But he said, watching House of the Dragon felt like watching early seasons of Game of Thrones. I'm not ready to claim we're back, but I really enjoyed episode 1. So I even see that, like, somebody who I almost, for whatever reason, it seems like we're just always on the opposite sides of everything, to say that he didn't like it. And then, of course, Sir Matthew Perry, just put, head explosion emojis in our little Game of Thrones group chat, and just like, OMFG, cannot believe they did the prophecy thing.
Yeah.
Wow, my entire feed is straight up just Westeros. Wow.
Yeah.
It's good. Like, as we said, it's back and it matters, and it's just
here's somebody else, Alfie Monaro Ez from the guys over at the
Rule of Galaxy.
They're a Star Wars podcast we're friends with, saying it was very good, very promising, but it has a long mountain to climb to overcome the ashes of its predecessor.
I don't know. I kind of feel like in 1 episode, it's already.
I feel so good about it.
That mountain, air quote, of ash. Because really, I guess I would kind of be still like 1 foot in, 1 foot out if it wasn't like, if you didn't add this extra bit in here with the passing of this secret. As another level, it's still really, really good and would have surmounted any kind of concerns people have. But in 1 episode, they didn't wait for like 4 or 5 to say, let's really kind of stretch it. They said, no, give us 1 episode and watch us erase everything and all those concerns. They're gone for me. I mean, so.
Oh yeah, definitely gone. And one thing I want to kind of just touch on, and this is like the Gurm touch, if you will, the secret sauce of his involvement, is that we're going to have fun these next few weeks, right, guys? Like, we're going to come on here, we're going to speculate about what's going to happen, the changes they're going to make and everything. But when this season concludes, we got to get out the pencil, we got to get out the paper, and we got to get back into the books. We got to go back to the Maester study, boys, because the last 10 minutes of this episode have changed the context in which we read
of all of it. It changed the whole thing.
And there are breadcrumbs in here, and people are already starting to pull them out. Like I said, Aemon's dreams, Rhaegar finding the scrolls. There's even stuff in Fire and Blood that's worded in a very interesting way. And now, when this season's over, it's the gift that keeps on giving. And now theorizing won't be about what kind of croissants are being served at feast. It'll be about the fact that Aegon had a dream. Let's go.
Let's go.
You know,
Let's go.
and
Baby.
I often talk about the episodes of Game of Thrones that George wrote, because he wrote 4 episodes. There's some cool little nuggets in there, right? Like, what do we say to the God of Death? Not today. That's not in the books, but it is in an episode of Game of Thrones in which George wrote, right? And there's a few other ones if you go look at the episodes he specifically wrote. And it's almost a man, I feel like I'm almost willing to take that now. It's just can't. Because clearly George is over here saying, no, I think we can do this here, and I think we can do this here, and I think, because now what's to say that isn't something that pops up in Winds of Winter? What if, you know, I mean, like
100%, dude.
I mean, what if in theory he is, because he is helping write House of the Dragon while he's writing Winds of Winter. And I think that's actually, at least from a writer perspective who's, you know, struggled with it, now you have the opportunity to be like, no, I can add to the story I'm writing by adding stuff back here. Not I have to finish in order to like keep up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what, like the key line is it's very similar to what the Starks are. So, okay. He, as Matt said, he's writing the Winds of Winter. And so you're thinking about what's going to happen in the end here. We talked about Rhaegar. We talked about Dany. In this very episode, it's mentioned that a Targaryen needs to sit the Iron Throne. And also we know from the book series that a Stark must always be in Winterfell. And this is a song of ice and fire, two different thrones. Winterfell in the north, and then in the south, we have a Targaryen sitting on that throne. And then it's just, there will be something. There will be, whether it is Rhaenyra at the end here placing down in writing or something, a secret in a relic of some kind, possibly maybe a sword hilt or who knows, something, right? Just to kind of pass that on. Rhaegar finds something in the scrolls, in notes or whatever, and rises up and says, "Now it's time for we got to prepare. Holy smokes, we almost lost this." Yeah, it just matters, man. And he is going to reveal that. That's something he is. It's almost like he gave them a tidbit that he had been holding back. It doesn't feel like anything that's like fabricated just for the show. It actually feels like that's where he was driving towards, right, Jimmy? So
yeah, and he's mentioned it before in interviews all the way back in like 2015 and 16 for book purposes. So and if you go back and read Aemon's Dreams and stuff, it all makes sense. I mean, I feel like some people are like, whoa, retcon, but it's not the case. Right. And then you have to start wondering, kind of like what Noel said in chat, like, does this play into Ares going mad at all? You know, is Dany going to find out the secret in Winds of Winter? Marwyn's going to her with possibly glass candles. Is that glass candle made from the dragon stones that we're seeing that are the balls and the little cups at the council table? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You know what else is interesting? Great comment here by Kira. And it was George that pitched it to the writer. He was the one who actually pitched this. But now we're gonna have to do some investigative digging to see, when did which happened first? Did George pitch House of the Dragon before or after Kit Harington pitched him the idea of Snow? Because what was the Game of Thrones? Because we know that there was the Long Nights idea that got scrapped. Then they said it was going to be House of the Dragon, but House of the Dragon didn't get sort of announced or whatever or anything until I think it was it would have been like early. It would have been sometime in 2020.
Feels like I've been waiting my whole life.
So right. So was it? Did Kit Harington pitch to George the idea first of, hey, I want to do a Snow successor show, or did this get pitched first? Because that changes a lot of things. If maybe HBO was sitting there saying, hey, maybe Miguel and some of these other guys were saying, hey, maybe we'll just do a Jon Snow sequel.
Well,
or a sequel to Game of Thrones. Yeah. And then Kit comes to George and says, no, I want to do a Snow sequel. Well, then George says, well, okay, then I think the other show we should do is the Dance of the Dragons.
Shake is saying in chat, he's saying that Gurm pitched first because the pitch was from 2016.
Ooh.
Wait, pitch what?
This show was
pitched in 2016.
I believe that too. I do believe that because Fire and Blood came around right around that time.
Well, my My only concern with the Snow Show, so this in one episode showed you how much it matters, how much this show I mean, it would have mattered. I'm not saying it wouldn't have, but it matters so much more because of the secrets that are being passed down by the Targaryens. Like, holy smokes. And then you go to the Snow Show and you say, how is that going to matter? It matters, but like beyond the, the climax, Matt, is Winterfell, or is it, right? That's the whole point. Is that
all I know is after seeing this, seeing this, I guarantee the Snow Show is gonna matter. Insane. I mean, it's gonna be so good. Like, I'm so in on that.
And I love
the key, though, has to be that that's the point, though. If it's going to be as good as Matt just said, which I believe that it is as well, it has to matter. And that's the whole point, is that it will. So how, though? That's the big question. Our big theorizing going forward is, what is that thing that's going to make it matter to the degree that Matt just said, right? So we kind of got to think through.
I just love this week-to-week hype and us just kind of like getting to let loose. And I love when we see new people stopping in. We have Jay Nell. He's on the Facebook feed. He said, no clue who you guys are. I did not read any of the books, and it took 4 seasons for me to like Game of Thrones, but I'm coming to hang out with you guys every Sunday after the show. Loved this first episode. That's what it's all about, boys.
That's
cool.
Jay.
That's cool.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ryan Condell, George was very kindly involved me in this project nearly 4 years ago, September of 2018, when he got the call up to the major leagues. Okay. So that show did.
Ryan Condell is the man, by the way.
Oh, well, they're
in good favor.
Yeah. Wasn't it? Hold on. Wasn't it Ryan? Somebody? I was looking at this. Somebody worked with Kit Harington on whatever his show was, because he has his own production company. We had looked at this.
It might have been Miguel. It could have been Miguel. Not sure.
Let me see.
Yeah, because George said he wasn't ready to like announce those showrunners, right? But that Kit had his own sort of thing, right?
Well, and also as we're talking about this and we're giving people props and stuff, like, let's just remember, like, we had the hunch that the problem was D&D, and we said this show's getting everything other than D&D, so this should be great. And so far, we're only one episode in, but
yeah, so far
it's looking good.
Well, I mean, still, hold on. Let me just say this real quick. I know, I don't get me wrong. D&D definitely botched season 8.
We're not about to go to D&D
and some of season 7, but I mean, they did also help create, when they were given the source material, when they had the source material, they did create the greatest show in the history of television.
To quote Stannis Baratheon,
yes,
the good doesn't wash out the bad, and the bad
well, I'm not saying, but I mean,
oh no, I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
But tonight is not their night.
No, tonight is definitely not their night.
And someone said, do you think they watched? They absolutely did not watch.
No,
there's no way.
What?
They gave up on us. They gave up on us.
But
we're still here.
I put them in the same category that I put people like Ryan Johnson and Patty Jenkins, and that they are great at adapting somebody else's written story. Not every director is a good writer, but some people are good directors. Some people are bad at writing, whatever. Some people are good at
writing. I thought the writing was very good this episode, by the way, because that was like the big question, is whether the writing could hold up to what we kind of expect out of a Game of Thrones type show. And them not having a lot of the dialogue, really any, from Fire and Blood. It's like, okay, well, the best lines in Game of Thrones arguably came from George, from the books, like directly listed.
Definitely.
And the fact that he was able to review this script and everything, it was awesome. Also, what about when David
this line here? This is so ridiculous.
Do whatever he called Otto a cunt. I was like, my god.
I will say there was a funny comment, Jimmy, because you didn't watch live with us, but when they start going out to the street and they're taking care of the murderers and whatever, and they go straight Ramsay Bolton on that guy. Somebody was like, because I think that technically was the first nudity we saw. They were like, well, that's not the nudity I was expecting.
Oh, that
was, everybody in the chat was just laughing so hard.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah, not the nudity we wanted, right? So they what
the nudity we deserved.
Yeah, what the nudity we deserved.
Oh, dude, when Daemon swings Dark Sister and then the next scene's him throwing the head on the pile.
So
brutal, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely had some fire and blood in this episode. It was cool. I thought the tournament too was really well done. Honestly, like a lot of good energy.
Oh,
Yeah.
the tournament, all the tournament stuff was the battling and everything was sick. Lady Misery, what do you guys think of her? She's kind of a new character who we're going to be seeing, who
Shay
isn't really
vibes.
mentioned a lot in the.
In the book, she's older. In the book, she's actually a little bit older. I think she's described as almost like creepy looking. So they kind of aged her down, to probably be more attractive and whatnot for the general viewer. But we'll see. Definitely Shay vibes. Definitely Shay vibes from her.
Yeah, with a little more mystical power, almost like a blending of like I'm not so sure if we're gonna get, because she's supposed to be a little bit more, almost like what do they call her? The Mistress of Whispers or something like that. Like she's supposed to be sort of in on his like secrets and stuff or whatever. So I feel like, is that right? Or
Bending his ear a bit because he hates his and this is his quote, bronze bitch, right? Is that what he calls his wife?
Yep.
So yeah, that's the whole idea, is that she is from across the narrow sea and she is kind of bending his ear.
Yeah. She has a real mysterious sort of vibe or whatever, and it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool to see her by his side, and I think they'll steal like a dragon egg or whatever, and we'll get into all sorts of trouble together before he sort of comes back to, he's gonna have an arc. I mean, he's gonna have this arc where he really, right now we're sort of like, not so sure. He seems sort of rough around the edges, but he's also seemingly looking out for his brother, and then he's gonna go off and do God knows what and come back and raise his crown and say, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? He's going to full circle a little bit here. So yeah, but I think she's cool. She's a really cool, like element to the show. So.
Yeah, she could be a wild card too. I'll be curious to see what kind of liberties they take with her character. Like Matt said, there's not a ton of text for her.
Right.
So that'll be interesting. We had a question from Umana1224 said, I don't know if you guys saw my question. Did you guys watch Inside the Episode after the episode ended? I did not, but I will watch it.
No, we did. We did. No, yeah, I did not, but I will watch it when I watch the episode tomorrow, just because then we hopped right on to do our live stream. So
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Shauna says the jousting tournament kept me thinking about A Knight's Tale, and I actually did too. And I loved them changing the banners and just even the helms being different. That's one thing my wife said. She was next to me and she's just like, all this stuff has so much detail. Like, it's crazy. And she said, Damon's helm, just badass.
Oh yeah.
Go. Like, if you could only go back in time before season 8 and look at any of the just like go back and like if you could go back in time, right, and type in like Game of Thrones season 8, like there was all these like pictures. Remember, like it was like all like Jon Snow and like Targaryen armor, and like all of it looked like exactly like what Daemon is wearing. And I was like, he's never gonna get this, but it was just like like fans are out there, like, speculating and doing stuff. So
hoping to see it. So they got it right here. I mean, they got the real dragon.
No, it looks sweet. And then he gave Rhaenyra the little Valyrian steel necklace, and
yeah, for sure. And it seems like they have a really good, relationship, and she's very smart. They pulled that very well. Like they show that she's just she wants to kind of fly around, do her thing. She's living in terms of like wanting to be this warrior princess or whatever, but she's very smart and she knows her uncle. She knows exactly who he is and can kind of
what did you guys think? Because I remember seeing some of the criticism. So some of the criticism going in from people who had screened it earlier was they felt like some of the criticism was people who've seen multiple episodes, like the early screeners, was they felt like they were trying to make Rhaenyra Daenerys essentially, or like there was did you guys feel that at all? Or
well, that was one of the things I was worried about with the show, is that and we're not going to talk about what happens, but like you could definitely draw a lot of parallels between Rhaenyra and Daenerys, and I wonder if it'll give people kind of a flashback and bad feelings. Obviously their arcs aren't identical or anything like that, just so people don't feel like I'm spoiling anything, but I think there's definitely a link there. Like I think them showing it how many years before Daenerys it actually was. Like I think it's without a doubt on purpose that they're trying to relate those two things, but I don't necessarily know if that's a bad thing.
Right. Yeah, no, I think it's great. I also think too Rhaenyra distinguishes herself just because of all the Targaryens around her, all of her learning, all that kind of stuff. So they're like similar, but yet very different, just because of life situation and where Daenerys is at compared to where she's at. So I don't know. I was super impressed by how just the way even the actress sort of pulls off her facial expressions in terms of looking at her uncle and understanding what her father's up to. And she seems to be very savvy in terms of the political things that are going on, and she's very, very, very young, which is definitely not that's something Danny had to kind of learn along the way and figured out through experience and through ups and downs or whatever. But she seems to be on it, and I think that's what's going to make her. I think it's what's going to kind of bring like Damon is this rogue prince. I really think like Rhaenyra is going to win that. Not to spoil anything, but as we get further, she's going to have sort of a reign, a kind of a control on him more than maybe was amped up in the book. So
yeah, it was also cool because the trailers definitely made it seem like it was Damon versus Rhaenyra, and we're all kind of like, wait,
right?
What are they doing here? And then as we got closer, I think we all kind of said, it's a little bit of a bait and switch here. Showing off Matt Smith as much as they possibly can because he's like the most notable guy in the show.
Patty Considine, man,
Patty Considine won me over.
I'm unfamiliar with him because I think Peaky Blinders is what he
was in The Outsider as well, which was an HBO adaptation. Yeah,
I'm just unfamiliar with him. So Matt Smith I know because I've seen in Doctor Who, and then he was in Morbius and
The Crown.
The Crown, yeah. But I mean Matt Smith I know is great, but Patty Considine, man, I'm definitely excited to see more of him.
Yeah, absolutely. I was very impressed. Very, very impressed with the whole cast.
Yeah, guys, there is some breaking news here that actress Millie Alcock, who plays Rhaenyra, has been hospitalized seriously after a spinal fracture from carrying the first episode on her back.
Wow.
I will say I thought she was phenomenal.
Crushed it, man.
Emily, Daenerys grew as the show went on, and so did the actor, right? Emilia Clarke. She got better. Some people still don't think she's great. I actually thought she started to get much better towards the end of the show, but this is not the case here. The lady playing Rhaenyra did a great job.
And it's like kind of bittersweet in a way because it's like, man, it's like I'm excited to see Emma Darcy, obviously, as like when we get to older Rhaenyra, but it's like, man, they're just so good, and then they're gonna be gone, and it's like, but
yeah. No, she's great. She did a great job, and that's kind of fair. I mean, just all of her mannerisms, man, all the dialogue, everything, done. I'm glad. So, are we thinking these actors are going to be sticking around for 6 episodes? Like, we're going to get 6 solid episodes?
It seems like 5. So, from what a lot of the early screeners are saying, is it's going to be 5 episodes with. Don't do that again. Like scaring people. Like, wait, what? Like, 5. That scared me for a second. No, 5. So it sounds like 5 episodes is with the younger actresses, and then younger actors who we saw a little bit on the Valerian side,
right?
And we'll see more of. And then it sounds like 6 is like the big time jump.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, that's cool. That's good because they're so far just killing it, doing a great job, and we're really sort of attached to them. So that'll be cool to see.
That'll propel their careers into huge,
Good, and it should because I mean, again, I was a little bit nervous because they're young, because they're unknown and younger, but just an experienced crew and everybody around it. They did a great job.
Remember, it does kind of provide. I guess I don't know. It's kind of weird because then if you play a kid all the way through, especially in something like Game of Thrones, like remember season 8, like a lot of people were really upset for Maisie Williams to have a sex scene.
Yeah.
Because they're like, hold on, we've like seen her.
It was a little weird.
I'm like, it was like a little weird, but I mean. So at least here you jump to like an entirely different actress. So
it will 100% help. It'll definitely help. Yeah, for sure. We didn't spend 10 years, I mean, she had like missing teeth in the first episode, guys. So, I just was like uncomfortable in that whole thing. I was like, weird.
Yeah, great comment here. Okay, so sorry, it covers up Jimmy's picture. It says, okay, I'm new to this. I've watched Game of Thrones 4 times now. Every time I see new things, small details. This episode is a great experience, great writing, and the flow of it from what we've come to expect from the original Game of Thrones brand. The secret was a massive drop. It made me see how well they are at not only paying attention to the details, but making the connection between the two shows. I'm about to hop back in and see the episode again. So many details I'm sure I will need to hear. Jimmy's
Lex on him.
So good. Yeah.
No, yeah.
I know. It's so funny. I remember we talked about this, how we were going to see so many comments. So many comments. Jimmy and I have been waiting for this moment of all of the season 8, and now everyone's like, Then when the first trailer was coming out, I was like, okay, low key, like this might be good. And now everyone's like, oh, it's just sick. It's great.
I have a friend who swore off the entire franchise, got rid of the books, everything after season 8, was just like, I'm out. And for me, more power to him. He hit me up today.
Hey,
said, they got me. They got me back. He got the leaked episode early, and he said, I'm in.
Wow.
He said, welcome back. We've been here carrying the banners all along, gentlemen.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. People are back. I mean,
Listen, I listened to a lot of podcasts back in the day. And for people who don't know, I met these two gentlemen and they were the motivation for my YouTube channel because they ran such a great community post season 8. But I remember a whole lot of those old podcasts that were, trying to bat with the big boys right here for Bend the Knee. And whenever the show ended and it wasn't cool anymore, everybody kind of went away. And you guys never stopped. You guys kept making episodes. You stuck with the fandom. You said there's still something here. And it was, there was a lot of disappointment, but there's still so much to say about the journey that was on the way there. And you guys kept at it. And, without you, I wouldn't have my channel and I think you've inspired a lot of people. But I'm just saying, I see a lot of those people coming back. I see a lot of those podcasts kicking back up. Hey, man, we're starting. I didn't put them on my feed.
They fired back up. You're right. They did. Where were they? Right when when Gondor called for aid. No, all
right. Well, here let me pull up some quotes from what I consider to be one of the most strict fan groups, the A Song of Ice and Fire subreddit. Okay. So their season 1 of House of the Dragon episode discussion. The jousting is what sold it for me. They did such a good job of depicting what I imagined it should look like. I could not be more excited for the rest of the show. I love the quick pull of the next lance. Never seen that before in jousting depiction. Really helps keep the suspense high. Absolute stunning choreography during it. Really makes me hopeful for the action. Though they're still falling a bit into the old habits of putting a million cuts into the sword fights to make them feel faster. So they're kind of focusing on that, asking about is Viserys holding the cat's paw at the end, right?
Yeah.
But I'm really digging it so far. Seems to be faithful to Fire and Blood. Well, I didn't have many doubts before. Matt Smith has sold me as Daemon. So that's some of the most hardcore strict fans who and they're pretty in on it.
Yeah, I'm hardcore into the books, and I'm okay if they change stuff. I really am. I embrace change. I can kind of separate the canons in my head, and sometimes you got to change stuff, guys. Like you just got to change stuff. So I hope people continue to have an open mind as we continue through the season, and things are going to get changed. But I think it should be a good amount, a good amount of stuff that needs to be done. So Allison and Rhaenyra being friends, in my opinion, is very good.
Yeah, it's more like things might be revealed too as we go along.
now go to Freefall. So. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Is this the Reddit?
The Free Folk Reddit. Yeah, they're kind of like the saltier than crate Star Wars Reddit.
Oh God.
Where they're just like, I'm picking every single detail.
Oh boy. That'll be
every single detail. Part here. So
I don't know. I can't really find even if I wanted to be super critical, which I'm not normally that guy.
Actually, they're not too bad over there. They're just kind of making fun of some stuff. Are we going to talk about Otto Hightower pimping out his own daughter? I thought I had a bad father.
Actually, the main episode thread is very positive.
Yeah, wow. I know. Wow. And they're pretty. Oh yeah, they're like, oh wait. Like, oh no, I liked it, because they're expected to get
just when I was out, they pulled me back in.
Yeah, they did do this. So awesome. All right. Well, let's finish up here with just initial. How are we feeling? As I'll start with you. Just now, we've been waiting. We're finally here. Yeah. Just thoughts, and then I guess maybe your predictions for episode 2. Where do we think we're going?
Yeah, no, I love it. I'm honestly kind of blown away, and I got to say, I've said it so many times, and I think everybody will agree with this. It's just like it was already so good, and then at the end, just this sort of passing down of this secret, it just takes it. It really just took it to a whole nother level that I did not foresee, and that was the thing too. I was a little nervous that I would come into this like, all right, I kind of read the books, I can almost sort of see where this is going to go or whatever, but then just to have it delivered and executed so perfectly and to have it just depicted so well, I don't know. I didn't, I don't know. It was so good. And I feel so good watching it and so confident moving forward. Cause you can actually, that secret, that passing down of the torch, right, from king to heir is so strong that I'll remember it the whole time. Like it's something that's just there and you don't have to ever do it again. And now you can move on with your story and you're like, wow, You just set up the whole thing, and that's it. You already knocked it out of the park. It's a home run. So in the first episode, so I feel that good. And I think, predictions for me going forward, I think I really think we're going to see
episode 2 real quick is called The Rogue Prince.
The Rogue Prince. Okay.
We're going to the steps.
Clearly,
Yep.
we're going to the steps. All right, then. Yeah, I think you got to get. Yeah, you definitely do. You have to get kind of into that and really get to know Damon, because you could have been 50-50 on him here. You could have said, well, I really like him, or really he's kind of a jerk or whatever. But now I think you're going to get to who he is, like a man in his cups, a man who has tried to find his place, doesn't know he's a second son. Where does he belong? What is his role? What is his future, his legacy, all that kind of stuff. I feel like he's going to be dealing with that, and we're going to get like connected and locked in with him. And then the next episode after that is going to be, we're going to be locked into somebody else and feeling like, oh, I don't know, they've got a pretty good story here, or whatever. So it's going to be this nice back and forth. They've already set up. So I saw in the comments earlier, somebody said so many different plot lines, so many different, characters to kind of follow. And that's awesome. It's wonderful. But you do have to kind of get us right into the Rogue Prince. He's the most interesting, dynamic character in the whole thing. So I'm happy to hear that's the title of the next episode.
Yeah.
Okay, Jimmy.
I literally just wanted it to be a good show. I said I'm not expecting season 4 Game of Thrones, but if it is a competent show that is good, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to enjoy it just because I love being in Westeros. Like, I have that just established, right? It was way better than I expected. And I already expected it to be good, right? I think it was great. I think that we do have a lot of season left, so we got to see what goes on. Time jumps are interesting. I wonder how they'll handle it. I'm very much looking forward to seeing Damon explore and Matt Smith doing this character. I just thought he stole the show. Really, I did. So I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see also for all of you who have not read Fire and Blood. I almost would encourage you not to at this point, because like some of the stuff that happens, and I said this, I think it's as high of drama and if not more than the main series. And seeing those details get flushed out will just be amazing. But it's not often I enter a live stream kicking my feet and pumping my fist. So yeah, I loved it. It was great.
Okay, yeah, for me, yeah, absolutely. God, man, just really, I just loved everything about it. The look, the feel. My biggest thing was, I guess for me, it's like Star Wars is my sort of comparison, where it's like, okay, you have the originals, and then you go to the prequels, and then you go to the sequels, and regardless of which ones you like better, or some are, are they all good or whatever, it has that feel where they just like it looks and feels like Star Wars. Whereas that's what I wanted mostly for this, in order for me to even feel like season 1 was a success. It needed to look and feel like Game of Thrones. And that's exactly what we got. So loved it. And then it just went above and beyond and everything. And I'm with you. I actually think story-wise, I think for TV, this is actually almost a better, I don't know, I think it's almost a better framework for television than actually a regular Song of Ice and Fire is, because it's a lot more political backstabbing. There's dragons, but it's a little more confined. Like Game of Thrones is all over the place. You've got like story that takes place only at the Wall. You've got Essos, you've got Dorne. This is actually way more confined, and I think it's easier to follow. So I'm very, very, very excited for it. Everybody knocked it out of the park. My predictions, I do think we will get a title card. I'm just gonna go ahead and say I think it's gonna be the same thing as Game of Thrones. I think they're just gonna go. I think they're gonna go with it. But the cool thing is, if like by doing it in episode 2, where now everyone's kind of spread out a little bit, now you give us a reason to show us different places. Because episode 1 is like, well, everyone's in King's Landing. But episode 2, well, I don't know. You get the Valerians. Here's Driftmark. Here's the Stepstones going over here. Here's King's Landing. We were going to see maybe some fallout in the Vale. There's So you actually have a good reason to kind of bounce around the map a little bit now. So I think maybe I'll do that, but I think it'll be maybe a slightly different take on the song. It'll be maybe just some different instrumentation or something. So yeah, that's what sort of my hope. And then we'll definitely get to see Damon going to just wreck everybody in the Stepstones. So
I think it's going to be like another step up. I really do.
Oh,
and the Crab King, baby.
Yeah, let's go. So good. Yeah. So with that, we want to thank everybody who is listening on the podcast, everybody who's been watching and came to hang out with us on YouTube. Be sure to check out not only our Patreon or Apple Premium if you want extra content, because Ez and I have tons of huge theories and everything over there. I think we just looked at, and we have over 100 extra podcast episodes on Patreon, which is like crazy to think about. So be sure to check that out, as well as some of our other shows. We cover we will be covering Lord of the Rings on our Wheel of Time channel, and of course, when Wheel of Time comes back on, we do the books there, but we'll be doing the show. So that's called Heroes of the Horn. So we will be doing Rings of Power coverage there, and we do a Star Wars channel called Hyperspace Hangout. So be sure to check that out. You can find it easily on Apple iTunes, kind of links you out to everywhere. And be sure to check out Jimmy's channel, the Fantasy Nuttwork.
Yes,
on YouTube. Be definitely sure to check that out. You can follow me anywhere on the internet at Super Gains Bros, as anywhere on the internet at Womprat_2M, Jimmy at the Flockavelli on Twitter, and of course the Fantasy Network on YouTube. Guys, it's been absolutely great doing this live stream. Stay tuned for more, and apparently winter is coming.
Fantastic.